Manages its financial fiduciary obligations, does not respect the will of the community, and pursues misguided policies not reflective. School board members are accountable for the regulations and policies they pursue. As these regulations and policies are debated, full transparency must occur in the deliberations with parents and the community. Trust is earned when the school board demonstrates its adherence to the will of the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Hello friends, I'm Maria Goldstein and I am the host of Voices in the Wilderness. And Voices in the Wilderness is taken from the idea that John the Baptist was a messenger to his generation. And I think that the guests on my program are also messengers to this generation, preparing the way of the Lord. So I encourage you to watch our program. You will love it, you will be inspired by it, and you will learn what the messengers of God are saying. Thank you.
Salvation, this is a call for salvation. If you do not know Jesus, this is a call for salvation. The call for salvation, respond to the call for salvation. If you don't know the Savior, this is his presentation. It's been 2,000 years.
Hello and welcome to Voices in the Wilderness. I'm Reverend Maria. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 35 to 40, we read where King Jesus says, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick and in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly, I tell you, whatever you did to one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it to me." My guest today is Chaplain Henry Young. Henry is a Bible teacher, pastor, a leader in our community, the executive director of Las Cruces Gospel Rescue Mission. The Las Cruces Gospel Rescue Mission is doing the work of serving and showing the love of Jesus to the least of these in our community. Welcome, welcome, Henry.
Thank you.
Henry, well, you and I have been friends for a while, and we're in the same fellowship of pastors and ministry leaders, and we pray for one another's ministry, and your ministry is just an amazing one, and so thank you for serving the homeless the way you do. Yeah, so you have done so much, and so before we start, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your own personal testimony. So I know that you were raised in a Christian home, and you went to Bible school, but growing up in a Christian home doesn't necessarily mean that you're a follower of Christ, does it?
No, it doesn't. And the best way to explain that, I heard a pastor say one time, just because you're in a garage, it doesn't make you a car. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with people who grow up in church. I used to go to church with my mother. My father didn't go, but I went with my mother. And then I fell in love with a girl that lived down the street. I started going to her church rather than my mother's church. Mm-hmm. And I was married to her in that church by the pastor. And then he put me on as a trustee. He had deacons and trustees. The trustees did more of the business portion mm-hmm. of work for the church. And then one day I realized I had never mm-hmm. said, "Lord, come into my life." Mm-hmm. So I got down on my knees. I wasn't feeling well. Got down on my knees in my own bathroom, hugging the toilet, and Cheryl said, "Do you need me to call someone or let me go get the Bible?" And I said, "Honey, I know the scripture." It's just a matter of giving my life to Christ. So I did it right there in my own bathroom.
Wow, And that's so important, because when we have a personal relationship with God by asking Him, just like you did, to come into our lives and acknowledge that He is our Savior, that He died and resurrected. And, like John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish and have life everlasting. Until we get to that point and accept it and accept God into our hearts, then, when that happens, our life does change, does it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
From that point on, I was on what I now look back on as a rapid course to change my life completely.
Yeah.
And it was within just a year or year and a half when I surrendered to go to Bible college and do full-time service. And of course, this was not my decision alone. My family had to go along with it. Sure. We already had one daughter at that time. And we sold our house. We were able to move very quickly. From April to May, everything got done to give us some money to go to California to Bible college.
Wow. Well, when it's all in God's plan, even though it's difficult, it kind of flows. It does.
It did.
It does flow, and it does come together, because we are, when we're in the perfect will of God, we know that, even though sometimes it's difficult and whatever. So that's wonderful. So then I know that the Lord has given you such a heart of compassion and the heart of Jesus to serve, because now you are the director of the Las Cruces Gospel Rescue Mission. And so, right now in the news, we see that the homeless is a crisis, right? We see it increasing in our inner cities. I mean, just on television, we see these tent cities coming up in our major cities. And so, do you see an increase here in New Mexico, in our city?
We have. And the ironic thing is that in the past year and a half, we have had an influx. It used to be considerably the same group from year to year, and they would rotate from city to city and come back to us. But they were what we called our hometown group, because we knew them even if they didn't live in the mission. And they would obey the rules that we had, because during cold weather we always let them sleep in our dining room. Until this group came in from, I think, primarily the West Coast, who was more violent, didn't care if you told them what to do. They were disobedient and more violent, and they caused even our local group to not be able to sleep in our dining room because of flagrant things that happened.
Wow. And I know you're a very compassionate man, but I know you don't take any nonsense either.
No, you have to stop for,
because I know
for safety of all.
You're very strict when it comes to following the rules, as it should be, because then, you need order. We need order in life, and of course you need order there at the Gospel Rescue Mission. And so is there like a profile of people that come into your the rescue mission? Can you identify, what got them there? Is there a specific profile?
There isn't.
There isn't.
It's like humanity itself. We are all created unique and different. And every one of those homeless, I like to equate it this way. The homeless are no different than mainstream life in the fact that they have the same needs, the same desires. Everything is the same, except they don't have a place to sleep, place to eat. They may smell bad, but their needs are the same as any of the rest of us. Too many times, the normal American person is just afraid to have any dealings with the homeless because of unknown quantity. And yes, some of them have problems. Probably the two biggest things that we need to see and identify with homeless are the fact that they many times are addicted to either illicit drugs or prescribed drugs and or have mental issues, mental health issues. And that is approximately 95% of those that are on the street.
And so you have men, women, singles, and you also have families.
We have families from time to time. They come and they go. We work hard through other agencies to have the families placed in an apartment or house of their own. And that has happened quite frequently, especially since we've made contacts on how we send them to certain places to get that help.
And so I know it must be very difficult for some to adjust to being in a shelter. And so what kind of problems do you see with people that can't adjust?
Yeah, many of the problems, if they can't stay there, it's the fact that they have a wall that they've built around them. They create barriers. Simply because they have been hurt so many times, they build walls. And if they feel that they're getting a lot of love and care, there then comes in a different type of fear of saying, I don't want to be hurt again, so before they hurt me, I'm going to rebel and hurt them, and then they're out on the street again.
Wow, yes. And so I know that you have a very holistic approach to your ministry. I know you feed them, you clothe them for their body, but also you provide some type of counseling and the spiritual piece, right? So talk about some of your programs.
Okay, the spiritual portion is our main focus.
Right.
That's why the first word after Las Cruces is gospel.
Amen.
If I ever change the name, I will take the word rescue out.
Right.
And it'll just be the Las Cruces Gospel Mission.
Yes.
Because that is first and foremost in what we want to do.
Yes.
I don't mind meeting physical and emotional, mental needs, but the spiritual needs can change their entire life.
Yes.
Therefore, we concentrate on that. And between myself and Evelyn Chavez as my assistant, we provide biblical teaching every week.
Yes.
At least twice to 3 times a week.
Yes.
And it is, in fact, we're taking the place of what you used to come in and do.
Yes.
In many cases, because you were there in the morning.
Yes.
Once a week.
And that was such a blessing for me because I was also there. I think I worked there for a couple of years as a volunteer as a Bible teacher. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life because it really connected me with the people. And just like you said, I noticed that they're just like all of us. They've got some issues, but they're just like everyone else.
Certainly.
And I know that they did have some trust issues, of course, because what they've gone through. But I'll tell you, the biggest compliment that they paid me is that, Maria, you're one of us at the end. So that made me feel so good because that meant that they trusted me. They got to the point where they could be open and honest with me because at first, of course, there's that wall that they put up, and rightly so because, so many of them have been so abused, and that's why they find themselves there in many instances.
Correct.
And so another thing that I just love about your ministry, and that we're friends and we network with one another, is that I've had situations where people call me and they want some help. They're homeless or whatever, and so of course that's not my ministry. But you I know you, so I'll call you to see if, and we connect them to you, and you're always there for them. So thank you for helping. So I know that you help people even that aren't from our area. So that is just such a wonderful organization that we have here, and it's worth supporting. It's worth praying for, and so yes, thank you for that. And so back to that spiritual piece. So how does that look like? So,
well, my gifting is different from Evelyn's, and we complement each other. She's more of an evangelical preacher.
Okay.
She preaches. I teach, and we do it back to back, one on Wednesday and the other on Thursday. And they seem to like both of us. They're really getting into it. They're asking questions. we ask them questions. And they are growing because they are now able to follow our train of thinking and answer because we go over things
That's good.
over and over. We are both teaching through the Bible.
Yes.
Right now, Evelyn is in Proverbs, which is hard,
It's hard. Yes.
especially when you take it on a verse-by-verse situation.
Right.
But it is so good at laying
Abs-
fundamentals
Absolutely.
down. And we try to balance Old Testament and New Testament.
Yes.
May I tell you why we do
Sure.
that? When I finally got to Bible college and started getting in-depth into the Word, I had read the Bible when I was young, but never from cover to cover. That is the key. Old
Yes.
Testament and New Testament.
Yes. Thank you. That's the full counsel of
Yes,
God.
it is. And to show you how closely I think it all aligns, in Genesis 1, we see in the beginning was God. And we know that in that account in Genesis 1 that we see God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit
Yes.
in the way that they react. And then translate that now to John chapter 1.
Yes.
Verse
Amen.
1, in the beginning
Yes.
was the Word, and the
Yes.
Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Amen.
And then verse 14 says, and the Word became flesh
Yes.
and dwelt among men.
That's right.
So that ties it together. And then you have to go further and teach that at the end of the Old Testament, the law did not pass away.
right.
It was fulfilled, but it's still there.
It's still there.
And then we see in the New Testament the beginning of the church. That doesn't mean that God has forsaken his chosen people
Right.
of Israel. But now you have the rest of the world, all nations, as the Gentiles who are now placed in with the Jews
Yes.
as far as salvation and being able to come to the Lord.
Thank you for saying that. And as you know, I'm a Messianic too. And so I would bring up some of that teaching too when I was there. And so many of the guests, right? You call them the guests. They really had a heart for the deep things of God. They really do there. And a lot of them, of course, very intelligent. Many are very intelligent. Many know the Gospels. Many know, the Bible more than anybody else, or as much as, but they know it here sometimes.
Right.
But they don't know it here.
That 18 inches.
Yeah. So it was always, trying to get it. Yeah, you can recite it, you can say it, but it's that identity in Christ to know that you can live it. And I think a lot of times they don't think that they have a choice because so many of their choices have been taken away. But Scripture tells us that each day the heaven opens up, and God presents life or death, blessings and cursings, and He reminds us to choose life, right? And so sometimes they don't understand that free will is God's secret weapon. They can't choose. So how do you try to get that into them?
We talk about, both Evelyn and I talk about free will all the time.
Yeah.
And the fact that each day the choice is theirs. Are you going to live for Christ
That's right.
or not? Even after salvation,
Yes.
we have to choose Christ and following that path
Right.
on a daily basis, a moment to moment.
Right. Right.
Let me give a good example of using myself.
Sure.
When I became the director and got into that position, one of the first things I did, for the first year I changed virtually nothing. I was evaluating everything and figuring out eventually what I would change and how that would look to the best of my knowledge. And then I took it to God, prayed about it, and He said, wait. So after a year's time, I went back and I said, Lord, the first thing, I've never had a $500,000 budget under my purview. I cannot handle it. God, that's yours.
Amen.
So I gave it to Him. I didn't worry about it. He has always provided.
Yes.
to the point now that it is abundant.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I'm not worried about finances.
And
In
no
fact,
government money, right? I need to add that, right?
Yes. But to the point now that we are going to do a building program. And we're in the beginning stages of that. But we'll save that for another time.
Yes, yes.
But it's exciting.
Yes.
Then as far as ministry, we redid certain things. We took out, I even had to break down, I told some of my staff, you've got to do it my way. Please come along with me.
Right, right.
And after trying to pull them along for a certain amount of time, I finally said, we've got to part ways. And that's the hardest thing that I've had to do, is fire someone. It ended up being 3 employees.
Oh, okay.
And after that, then replacing them and moving forward, it's just been going so fast ever since.
Yes.
And then, of course, the enemy tries to bring things in. First we had the fire.
That's right.
Then the all of the refugees that were coming across. We were the staging area for all of that for at least 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then the pandemic.
Right.
I mean, we've just had one thing after another.
You have.
And through all of that, God has blessed.
You know, and I know when we trust God, He always comes through. He always does. And so you've been faithful to, the Gospel Rescue Mission. What's next? Because I know you have other plans, or God has other plans for you. What else?
Well, as far as what we're going to do there at the mission, I am writing a succession plan, but that I'm not ready to leave. I don't want anyone to misunderstand. But a succession plan is something that is needed really in every business.
Right.
But I think in the Lord's work, it is something that is very important.
Sure.
A pastor of every church should have a contingency for what happens if I'm not here. So I am in the process now of writing a succession plan, not only to fill my position, but down the line to see if there's a way we can put someone in place to fill that position, maybe 3 or 4 deep. And if my plan doesn't change between now and the time that I am no longer the director, the Las Cruces Gospel Rescue Mission will have its first female director.
Okay. But, we want you to stay, though, as long as you can, because we really appreciate
You know what I told the board?
What?
I told them when I accepted in 2017, I said, I will be here as long as I'm physically able to do the work and mentally able. I'll know when I'm not physically able. You'll have to tell me when I'm not mentally able. And they said, okay.
But, writing this succession plan, that's just wisdom, that you were talking about Proverbs. And, in Scripture, you can find the pattern of how to live our lives in every area. And just being wise and preparing for, what's next, that's only God, in my opinion. So that's just wonderful that you're doing that. Now, how do you measure your success in your stories and in there at the Gospel Rescue Mission?
You mean the stories of the people?
The stories of the people, yes.
We use those quite often in our newsletter and in our fundraising, because that's what the public wants to see. They want to know what's going on, what we are doing to enable those people to help themselves. Right. That's another big facet that I haven't mentioned. Okay. We want them, instead of asking for a handout, we want them, want to take their hand and give them a hand up.
Yes.
And the way that we're doing that now, this is hard to believe even for myself. I've got 16 employees.
Wow.
9 of my employees are either current or former residents.
Wow. That's
over
wonderful.
Half of my staff was once a guest in the mission.
Yeah.
The oldest one being Charles Garcia.
Okay.
And Charles is a gem.
You have beautiful people there.
We do.
Yeah.
And he's in charge of all of our facilities. Wow. And now he's helping out at the chemical supply store. Wow. Just doing a wonderful job. Mm-hmm. And of course, Evelyn is his wife.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're married.
Okay.
And she is fantastic. Yeah. She is actually fulfilling the role as shelter director now, both for men and women.
Oh, good for her.
And then we have Ron Roberson, who is our kitchen manager.
Okay.
He has, you can't believe the strides that man has made, even though he's still on probation and wears the anklet on his ankle.
But you're giving him a chance, so
yes.
That's just wonderful.
And then we're training others to do jobs so that they can go out on their own at some point and make a living. I mentioned the transitional housing. We will allow them to live there, and in order to help them learn how to budget, we ask them to donate something back, and we've put it into a figure that they can afford.
That's wonderful.
But it's so that they can get used to setting aside money monthly to take care of their bills.
So you're preparing them for that transition
into real life
when it comes. And do you have programs specifically for transitioning, training programs?
Yes, and it's individualized.
Okay.
Because some people can do it almost immediately, some take a lot longer, and we have to gauge it on a person-to-person basis.
Mm-hmm. I see. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. So what is the length of time then that people usually stay at the Gospel Rescue Mission?
It can be as short as 5 days.
Okay.
If they decide, this isn't for me. We have some that probably never will leave.
Really? And that's okay with the
yes,
the mission?
we have decided it is.
Yeah, I know you've had a couple of them
we've
that
had
were there for a long
two
time.
who have passed away. In fact, 2 of them were in 1 month, year before last.
Wow.
I haven't had any since, but we're expecting one lady to never leave.
Wow.
And there may be others.
Wow. You know, can you believe our time is up? Just one sentence, one quick sentence to encourage the people. One quick sentence.
Even though our donations have been good, if anyone would love to donate, we can give you that information.
Yes, thank you. That's good. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you, our viewing audience, for joining us here today. If you'd like more information about my program, please contact me at mariagoldstein7@gmail.com. Check out my website, www.voicesinthewilderness.tv. Until next time, we wish you good health, success, and spiritual growth. God loves you so much, and so do we. And remember, there is hope. And his name is Jesus. Thank you.
For salvation, this is a call for salvation. If you do not know Jesus, this is a call for salvation. The call for salvation, respond to the call for salvation. If you don't know the Savior, this is his presentation. It's been 2,000 years that have passed.
Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Proverbs 34. The mystery of the Hebrew letters, Jesus revealed, by Reverend Dr. Maria Goldstein is available now in bookstores everywhere.
Well, my name
A school board member is accountable to the community. They're transparent to the community and has the community's trust in the regulations and policies set by the board. This only happens when the school board truly reflects the best interest, values, and is the voice of the parents in the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. That's 866-372-3669.
Hi folks, welcome back to We the People. I'm Dave Gauss, your host. This week we have a very special guest, Bev Courtney. Bev Courtney is running for City Council in District 3. It's basically in the heart of the city. Bev, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave, for having me.
I've had Bev on before, and she's going to be a great candidate, folks. And we're going to hit all the issues that we think we need to address here. But Bev, give us a little background. Your marriage, your...
Yes, sir. I've been at Cruces for since, 1992, 30 years.
Okay.
And raised my kids in District 3.
Okay.
Still own 2 houses in District 3.
Did you send your kids to public school?
No, I homeschooled.
You homeschooled
I
your
did.
kids. All right.
Because I was already seeing the writing on the wall about the public school system. And their
Now, are your kids successful?
indoctrination. Yes, I have 2 doctors, and one's working on his nursing degree.
You homeschooled your kids, and your kids are doctors
And one's
in nursing
a
degree.
paralegal.
Wow. Well, I'd say that's a success story. How about your marriage?
Yes, I've been married 36 years.
To the same man?
Yes, same man.
That's a commitment, folks.
The father of my kids.
I hear you.
You know, most of my kids.
Okay.
The last 3 kids.
Okay, very good. Now,
Yeah.
you've also been involved in, you have a small business, I believe?
I have a small business.
Okay, so you're a small business owner, so you know about what it takes to run a small business in Las Cruces, and it's a tough thing.
Just any small business. I did retail for a while. I'm doing the gun shows right now, but I have belts, holsters, and I can teach you how to shoot your gun
That's
really
right.
well.
You are a
carry.
state-certified concealed carry weapons
Yes.
instructor.
Mhm.
Wow, that's great.
Okay, for district-
You were also, you have leadership roles in the Tea Party, I think it was.
Tea Party president for 2 years.
Wow, okay.
Out there, out on the street protesting high taxation.
Yeah, tea
Who
is-
remembers the gross receipts?
Oh, yeah,
But
well.
it was double taxation. The county and the city all raised taxes on us kind of in that same period.
And Tea Party means taxed enough
Enough
already.
already.
That's a good one. Okay, well, we got some city issues. Now, you were telling me before the show, I mean, your big points were public safety, election integrity, corruption in city council, the lack of mental health.
Yes, mental health issues. We see all these homeless people on the street.
Right.
And, small business. They're
Well, they don't get a break. I mean,
overregulated, overtaxed.
you go after the COVID, that was a big problem. And
COVID
it's
was
still
a
a big problem.
big
But
problem.
still, even before that, El Paseo was like a ghost town. It's like, how do you bring businesses in if you don't reduce regulations and cut taxes for the businesses?
Well, first of all, you embrace the freedom for them to choose who they hire and how much they hire them for.
Sure.
I'm not interested in government mandates because business is free enterprise. And
Right.
I don't want to change that.
Well, small businesses.
I want to encourage it.
Small businesses run on a very small margin of profit. Now, there's some that gouge, but most of the times the small business is very small. So if you insist that they have, say, a minimum wage, you're going to lose the employees, you're going to lose the business, you know. But
well, if the city is going to raise that minimum wage on the businesses, why would they do that and then pay our police so
they're
low?
offering $18 an hour. So they want a $15 minimum wage, and they want to offer police $3 more. So, you know, you get $3 more if you become a policeman than if you're working at McDonald's.
Who would want to be a policeman?
I was a policeman. There's no way I'd want to be a policeman.
You would want to do that because
now.
you put your life on the line.
Yeah, well, you do, but and it wasn't
You're in
the
high-stress situations.
But it wasn't the money. When I worked, I started in '71, retired in '96. It wasn't the money. It was having the support of the elected officials, because nobody's perfect. Police are not perfect, but if they're trying to do their job and do it well, I mean, if there's dirty cops out there, they should be arrested. They should be put in jail. But if they're trying to do their job, who doesn't make mistakes? Hopefully, well, I never made a deadly mistake, but...
Let me tell you, I've worked with the police quite a bit and as a concealed carry instructor.
Okay.
Police are safer in a community with armed citizens.
Yep.
But also, I've had my differences with them, but I 100% support the police, and they're operating at 75% capacity.
That's right. We're down 50 police.
That's why you don't see them doing traffic stops. Murder is up. Murder
doubled
in our little city.
Yes. Violent crime has doubled. I
and
mean, I heard about the
especially in
fella
District 3.
Well, the fella got his head cut off, and
Oh my
the guy
gosh.
was using his head as a soccer
my
ball.
gosh.
Shootings left and right.
And he was, I understand, he was living in the park. And people are
out the
getting
dock
bullied
there.
in the park. So we should have police officers patrolling the park,
Sure.
patrolling these troubled spots.
Absolutely. You reduce crime if you put a police presence there.
And let me tell you something else. I tried to call them, and they didn't even answer their phone. Not the emergency phone, just their regular phone to maybe get an interview or something. Didn't even answer it. I couldn't even get a person.
They're probably out handling ridiculous calls, and they can't really do their job. And then with the city, we're not called a sanctuary city, but we are called a welcoming city. To me, you're tying the policeman's hands.
And that is the progressives
Yeah.
saying one thing and not owning up to the actual truth. So if you tell a half-truth, it's not really the truth.
Well, here's another
welcoming
thing.
is like that.
No, it's just putting a pretty name on a bad subject. But, you know, we're talking about not hiring police. So you need to support the police, but you need to offer them a fair wage that's competitive with other police agencies around the area. And they're not doing it.
Right.
But if they're spending, what is it? They just bought buses. I don't know how many buses to change the diesel buses that were running fine into electric vehicles now at a cost of $1.4 million.
No, that is the cost of silencing the whistleblowers. $4.1
million. Did you hear this, folks?
That's
$4.1
5
million
buses.
for 5 buses, and that's only the start. So this is the progressives that are doing the social engineering in our city instead of protecting the citizens of Las Cruces. They're not hiring police. They are hiring city employees, and they're buying buses that don't need to be bought because they want to be environmentally friendly. This is crazy stuff. So, okay, what else we got? How about election integrity?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So my mantra is restore authentic elections. Locally, I've been in court with them 3 times, and the county clerks and the city clerks and the city attorneys, and I won my court cases. I saw up close and personal how they manipulate the process. I've watched the state legislature gut the statutory safeguards. Why would any honest person take away the safeguards?
No, I know. SB 4 was a bill that was put in the last election. Now, they said it was because of COVID, but what it did was it took away the oversight where you would have partisan, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever it is, that would oversee these absentee and write-in ballots. They took that away. And it's so the county
They took away everything that ensures honesty, integrity.
So to me, I ran for state senate in the last election. I sued the county clerk, the secretary of state, and the a sitting senator, Daniel Ivy Soto, because I believe they were colluding to...
I was in court with Daniel Ivy Soto.
Well,
actually, he was making my defense in that court case because it was a ballot signature problem, and the county clerk in that case had approved my ballot signatures. In the end, I won that.
Well, that's good. Well, the thing is, you sound like a fighter. You sound like even with the police, you do challenge the police. And that's what we need. We need a good, fair, and honest city councilor, which I'm sure you will be.
Well, back to the police, I think that we want the community to respect the police. We want the police to respect the community. That's the way we were raised, is to respect authority, because they keep the peace on the streets. And we're seeing the results of having 75% of the amount of officers we need. I also would like to bring back the drug interdiction and gang task force, because we've got drugs on our streets because of the open borders, and it's our young men that are looking at easy money, that are getting involved with criminal element. That's running, we'd put a stop to it. We'll get rid of neighborhood drug dealers, and our police force is capable of doing it.
Sure it is. You just need more police out there.
Yes.
Don't be buying electric buses when you should be hiring police. Yeah.
Yes, and the electric bus thing, China is not our friend.
China? The buses were bought from China?
A parent company. So they were bought from a subsidiary of a Chinese
better by the minute.
company. And you know what? China, they have the worst human rights abuses in almost history.
It's not the Chinese people. They're being victimized by their oppressive
Communist
government.
Chinese Party.
Yes. So we're buying equipment from China. This is unbelievable. And that might be something that needs to be looked into. That's a deep subject. Well, you know something? Here's something. That'll lead us into the corruption within city council. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there were 4 main players in the city government, like an auditor, an attorney, 2 other very key people were fired because they were whistleblowers, because they brought out something about the corruption in city government. And there was a settlement, and this is only a partial settlement from what I understand. Is that
why didn't they go to court? What are they hiding?
Well, how much was it?
1.4.
That's $1.4 million payoff to these people that were fired because they brought out information about a corrupt city council, and they had to sign a disclosure agreement, so they can't say anything.
How far would $1.4 million go towards training more police officers?
Sure.
I don't know how much police academy costs, but
we
could do it.
Anything that you could put in that direction would be great.
It would be great.
Well,
we're going to do it if we get elected. If we get new people on city council, the 3 of us that are running.
Yes.
Bill Bierman.
William Bierman.
Yeah, an analyst and watchdog extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is.
And
good.
Ronnie Cisneros.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Yeah, he is, and he's honest. That goes a long way, just being honest. That's why I'm here.
It's so important, folks. Now listen. This is a nonpartisan race. If you vote your traditional values, you could be Democrat, you could be Republican, you could be Libertarian, you could be anything you want. But look at the people that have been running our city into the ground, and look at the people that want to stand up now and change it and give us a break. So, Bev, I applaud you for running. Now, there's more issues. I mean, you mentioned to me about mental health issues. Now, that mental health issues is going to affect the police. I mean, more police can help the mental health people get
They need training.
Sure.
We need to have a special group of policemen that would go and answer those responses.
Okay.
And I would suggest that they were big guys that weigh, 250
Just
pounds.
look intimidating. Not that they have to do anything.
And maybe 3 at a time, because that's how Spain does it. Spain's officers don't even carry guns. I'm not saying we shouldn't carry guns, because
Right. No, definitely we need
But 3 of them amounts to superior force.
Well, we don't even have 2 working together. They're solo on the street all the time.
I don't think they should be solo.
That's wrong, because we could save policemen's lives. It could really stop a trouble before it even gets started. So
and we have lost some police officers.
Yeah, I saw a
here.
video of a policeman that was gunned down on the street. He was by himself.
And for
Had he had a
district-
partner? Well, look, we got to take a break. This is going very well. We'll come back, folks, and fix every problem in Las Cruces. Bev Courtney, City Council, District 3.
We're
We'll
going to
be
work
back.
at it with your help.
Okay.
When the school board mismanages its financial fiduciary obligations, does not respect the will of the community, and pursues misguided policies not reflective of the community, we lose our trust and our parents deserve more. School board members are accountable for the regulations and policies they pursue. As these regulations and policies are debated, full transparency must occur in the deliberations with parents and the community. Trust is earned when the school board demonstrates its adherence to the will of the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Paid for by Macho for LCBS.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to We the People. I'm Dave Gauss, your host. And again, we have this special guest, Bev Courtney, who's running for Las Cruces City Council District 3. And we've got most of the problems solved in City Council already. But we got about 9 minutes, I think, to discuss the rest of the problems. So we touched a little bit on police department, supporting the police department, not only financially, but also supporting them with our, thanks a lot for your service and things like that.
We need to honor and respect them, because when you call a policeman and you're in trouble, I tell you what, he's your hero.
Yeah.
And the same with the fire department. Did you know that our insurance is higher because our fire department rating is down?
Why is it down?
Because they don't have enough firemen, and they don't have enough trucks, and they built the fire stations further out than a really fastest response time
So the
allows.
closer you are to the firehouse, the lower your rates
That's
are
right.
for fire
So they
insurance.
cut cost on the fire department.
So this is public safety, fire and police.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I can't think of a better way to spend money than on both of those. And the policemen we were talking about,
Number
don't send them
number
out.
one, and number two.
Don't send them
priority.
out by themselves. Send them out in pairs.
Definitely.
And it's going to cost money. There's no doubt about it. But when
That's
you're
right.
spending $4.1 million for buses, electric buses that we don't need, and you're going to spend
Hardly anybody rides.
and $1.4 million for a lawsuit, and we don't even know what the lawsuit was about.
I know the community will agree with us that we want good and plenty of police and plenty of firemen.
Well, folks, you got to get out and vote. Now, listen. Early election starts October 5th, right around the corner. What's it, a week away?
Yes.
If that much?
Yes.
If you get out early and in person, go in person. There's only 3 locations.
In person.
Because if you do that, you minimize the chance of any hanky-panky going on in the election. And there's 3 locations. If you're on the East Mesa, you've got Sonoma Ranch Elementary School, you've got City Hall right next to the library, next to Brannigan Library, and you've got
District 3.
Corbett Center and NMSU. Well, your district is close to Corbett Center and City Hall.
Yes, it is.
So go out
City
early
Hall
and
is
in
in
person,
District
folks. If you wait till Election Day, things can go awry. If you go to the election booth and they say, oh, you've already voted, somebody has voted in your name. You don't want that. You want to be early and in person. So, okay.
Okay, so
Back to the
definitely
issues.
vote in person. Do not vote by mail.
No.
Do not,
No absentee, no provisional.
yeah.
You want to vote in person and
Correct.
make sure you know what's going on.
And so who knows what ranked choice voting is?
Oh, what a mess that was.
It's experimental, and the problem with it, because I've been studying it, it is new, it's experimental, it's confusing. I also want to say just vote for your one candidate, because otherwise your other votes are fractionalized. So that's ranked choice voting. It's they divide your vote. So you're not a whole person. You're not a whole number one. One citizen, one verified vote.
Right.
It's fractionalized.
Well, ranked choice voting was never approved by the people. The city council just made this arbitrary decision that they're going to have ranked choice voting, and everybody I talk to is fed up with ranked choice voting. It's confusing.
It's designed to make a non-viable candidate viable. So what does that say, really?
Well,
you read that.
You're not picking the
lines.
person you want. Because
Right.
I think Mayagashima, that won the mayor's race, only got 30% of the vote. In a normal election,
He didn't
he would
get-
have had to get 40% in
He
order
didn't
to
get there
win.
until number 10.
So listen, folks, if you want to have the right person and vote for the right person, make sure you
one person.
In person. Now, you're not...
In person and for one person.
You only have one person you're running against.
No, there's 3.
Oh, is there?
There's 3.
Okay, okay. Well, vote for Bev Courtney, City Council District 3.
Yeah.
And we have 2 other strong candidates, conservative candidates, and we have William Bierman and Ronnie Cisneros.
Ronnie Cisneros.
So districts 5 and 6. I might have them backwards, but either way. Okay, we talked a little bit about city corruption and ranked choice voting. To me, that falls in line with city corruption because the city council just does whatever they want. I've been in city council meetings where people are screaming and hollering and saying what they want. City council votes directly opposite of what the people want.
Did I mention to you that we don't have any conservative representation on the city council?
Well,
not Democrat, not Republican. Nothing, only progressives, far left progressives. Do we have any conservative representation on a county commission?
No.
No. Do we have any conservative representation? Either party at the state level.
Only
How
1 or
did they
2,
do
I
that?
think. Yeah,
How did they do that? We want to bring back fair representation.
Okay.
We want to restore authentic elections.
I agree. I agree. You know what? We talked about crime. We talked about, and we talked a little bit about homelessness. Now, these things, and I see homeless people all over the place.
There seems like it's increased a lot.
Oh, it has. It definitely has. Now, I don't know if these are illegals. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I think maybe the city gets paid to bust them in. I really don't know. If I were the city councilor, I would find out. And if people ask me, I would like to ask my city councilor what's going on with all the homeless people and what's going on with all the immigration. They brought them in and have housed some of the immigrants in Doña Ana County, and there was already a rape.
Well, you see, I don't have a problem with immigrants if they do it legally.
And if they are good people,
well,
and they want to assimilate and embrace American values, the Bill of Rights, equal justice under the law. You know, our conscience tells us right from wrong.
Right.
And they are just, you know.
Well, those people are being victimized by the coyotes that are bringing them in. They're raped. Young girls are raped along the way. Go into human trafficking.
And they take everything that they have with them. They take the clothes off their back, literally.
Well, because they've been lied to. They've been told, you get to America. And then where do they go?
Then that's another question. Where do they go?
Well,
are they exploited because they're not like a whole citizen?
I'm sure they are because they don't want to reveal themselves to the police if they're being victimized.
Maybe they're sold off to these corporations that make them work like 70, 80 hours a week.
Could be.
$3 an hour, who knows?
The whole thing is we're not going to know
until
we get there.
I get emails from them asking for equality, asking for safety. Believe it? I see it.
You said
and I won't be a part of it.
You said a key word, equality. And that makes me think about the school issues that are going on. They want to bring in, critical race theory. Now, they give it a nice, sweet name. They say
we call it indoctrination.
Well, but they call this policy equity and excellence. And I've been to school board meetings. And
it's tricky.
They do the same thing. Yeah, that's right, because they give it a nice name.
Yes.
Who doesn't want equality?
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, this leads to the ranked choice voting. And I would suggest that, folks, we have 3 strong conservative candidates that are running for school board. Henry Young, Abel Balcazar, and who else? It's Eloy Francisco Macha. They're all strong Christian conservative candidates. These people will be watchdogs for your kids. So make sure when you go out and vote, and early voting is October 5th. Make sure you get out and vote.
And Dave, talk about business.
Oh, yeah.
A business community or a company, a big company, like maybe a high-tech company that's going to bring high wages.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows my kids had to leave town because there's no jobs for their education level. Whether it's high or low, you know, there's dignity in working for yourself, but they're not going to come here when our schools rank 50th or 49th out of all the states.
I know.
And they have to have a literate population.
They say that we graduate 90%, but they have a 30% literacy rate. In other words, they're idiots. I shouldn't say idiots, but
ignorance is the correct word, because they don't know if they haven't been taught.
Haven't been challenged. They haven't passed the standard tests that would allow them to graduate with a job skill, knowledge. We're not getting it in our school
Everywhere in
system.
New Mexico, everywhere in New Mexico with the progressives, it's top
My name
heavy.
is-
They're taking all the tax money to themselves and then just giving, people just a little tiny bit to get by on. They'll have
Just a
us
carrot.
living hand to mouth from payday to payday.
Well, do you know
we'll
that-
be a welfare state full of crime.
Well, we are a welfare state. In New Mexico, we have twice as many government employees per capita as Texas does. Texas happens to be a Republican state, very conservative, and is very successful. New Mexico is a welfare
A
state.
lot of people drive to Texas to work
I know.
and shop
I know.
because it's. But
Well,
they
but
have a high. I understand they
Their
have high
taxes are
housing.
lower there. They don't pay income tax, Social Security tax,
Let's hear from
personal
Frank.
income tax. Here we've got
hear from
all that.
Frank. Thank
Well,
you, sir.
Bev, we're getting close to the end of the show.
One last thing about
Absolutely.
immigration. Do you know that it makes it difficult for people that do have lower incomes to find housing? They have to compete
sure.
for the housing.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
that's
Now,
an
and
issue.
you mentioned too about helping businesses, reducing regulations, reducing the taxes for businesses. If our city was to give incentives for businesses, they'd come in. And when they come in, we'd have more employees. Our people would be able to be employed. And those businesses could have apprenticeship programs to where they could train kids in trades or whatever.
Workforce Solutions, we've got entities that know their business, know their
Okay.
job.
Yeah.
They know how to bring solutions to this, including the restaurant business. They teach people how to go out and be viable employees, teach them all kinds of things
So
about being
we
out.
need to have a city council that supports businesses, supports the police,
Yes.
supports a good conservative school board.
all the infrastructure.
But another thing with the school board, the parents need to get involved. They're not as involved, and they should be. They should sit in their own kid's classroom and see what's being taught. So,
I agree.
Bev, we're
choice, school choice. Fix your problem.
We're about out of time. Now, there's information about how to contact you, your email address, your Facebook. Folks can get on there.
Yeah.
I'm sure my producer, he's bringing it up now. Is there anything you'd like to say to the folks besides vote for Bev Courtney?
I don't have all the solutions, but I am literate. I did learn to read in school, and so I have a little behind on all my surveys. Plastic bottles and plastic bags, I don't like mandates, but I have researched it. I don't need to use as many plastic bags and bottles. I found out it's an easy thing to do. PR campaigns.
You got the
Would be
most
that.
important thing.
And bicycle paths. We want to encourage that because it helps keep the city clean and keeps everybody in the fresh air and exercise perfect.
So that's
weather for that, and I would advocate for that too.
But you got the most important things. That's like the icing on the cake.
It's
You take
like
care of the
icing on the
police
cake.
and fire. You take care of the corruption in city council, schools.
Parks and recreation. There's a huge soccer community here. We've got the perfect weather. We need the perfect facilities.
Okay.
Every business in town would benefit. Everybody. It's a win-win.
I agree. I
So,
agree. Well, Bev,
we got to just set our priorities right.
it's been great having you on. Bev Courtney, Las Cruces City Council District 3. Make sure you get out and vote early and in person. October 5th starts early voting. Get in there early and in person. Bev, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
See you next week, folks.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Attention CPAP users with sleep apnea. You may have heard about the importance of cleaning your CPAP mask and supplies regularly, but we can't stress enough the importance of replacing your old CPAP supplies every 90 days to prevent infections and improve your overall health. With Medicare and private insurance, you may qualify to receive regular replacement supplies with free home delivery at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Improve your sleep and take control of your health with new Medicare-covered CPAP supplies every 3 months.
A school board member is accountable to the community. They're transparent to the community and has the community's trust in the regulations and policies set by the board. This only happens when the school board truly reflects the best interest, values, and is the voice of the parents in the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Welcome to What is Truth, brought to you by the Southern New Mexico Church of God in Las Cruces, New Mexico. What is Truth is a weekly program which seeks to focus our attention on the truth of God's Word. Now, with this week's lesson, here's Pastor Meyer Stahl.
Welcome to the program. I'm Meyer Stahl, the pastor of the Southern New Mexico Church of God, bringing you the program, What is Truth? Today's topic is, what is the last great day? Now, before we get started, I want to offer two very important booklets free. They're free booklets. We never ask the public for money. We're self-supporting, and we're not listener financed. So why don't you call up and ask for these two free booklets? The first is God's Holy Day. God has holy days. Did you know that God has holy days that reveal His plan of salvation? Now, these are prophecies that were completed in the Old Testament, and then they're also completed in the New. All right. The second booklet is Why Were You Born? Do you know you were born to be a king, a priest? Did you know that? It says here at the bottom of the booklet, it says, do you really know why you were born? God has a special purpose for you. Do you realize God has a purpose being worked out here for you? Most fail to understand that purpose. Read this booklet, you will be surprised. I guarantee you'll be surprised. So these two booklets are absolutely free. Now, we never send we'll never send you anything that you don't ask for. So you don't have to worry about us sending you a bunch of literature that's unasked for. All right, let's go to the Bible. Let's understand this last great day. And we'll go to Leviticus chapter 23, and we'll start in verse 2. Leviticus chapter 3 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord. Did you see that? These are the feast of the Lord. They're not the feast of the Jews. They're not the feast of the Israelites. They're not the feast of the Hebrews. These are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. God keeps telling us these feasts belong to him.
And for District...
Now let's go down to verse 34. 34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month, now that's in the lunar calendar, shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. We are in the midst of the Feast of Tabernacles now. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
What are you going to...
7 days shall you offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Well, we don't do that now because there's no temple. But nevertheless, it says here, on the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you. So it talks about a 7-day festival, and now it's talking about an 8th day. We're going to stop there. I'm going to explain. The Feast of Tabernacles is 7 days. There's an extra feast that's attached to the Feast of Tabernacles, and it's called the 8th day, or the last great day. Now we're going to look at Jesus Christ keeping these days. So let's go in our Bibles to John chapter 7. And we're going to John chapter 7, and we'll look at verse 1. John 7, verse 1 says, after these things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, that's Jerusalem, because the Jews sought to kill him. Well, they were waiting for him. They had stones by the gates, piled up, waiting to stone him. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, depart hence and go into Judea, that your disciples may see the works that you do. For there is no man that does anything in secret, and he himself seeks to be known openly. If you do these things, show yourself to the world. For neither did his brethren believe in him. So they were riding him, and they didn't. He's our eldest brother, Jesus. Who does he think he is? Does he think he's somebody important? Well, they were riding him, and what did he do? Well, Jesus said to them, let's read it. Jesus said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready. What did he mean by that? Your time to die. My time to die is not yet come. He would not die for 6 months. From the Feast of Tabernacles to the day of Passover is about 6 months. But your time to die could be any time. The world cannot hate you, but me it hates, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. Go you up unto this feast, I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come. So he was not going to go up with his family. We'll stop there for a minute. Why wasn't he going up with his family? Because they would be able to pick him out. They would know who his family was, and they would be able to pick him out and stone him. So he went up to the feast secretly. Let's read it. Verse 9. When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brothers were gone up, then went he also up unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. And the Jews sought him at the feast and said, Where is he? And there was much murmuring
For the most part.
among the people concerning him. And some said, He is a good man. Others said, No, but he deceives the people. Howbeit, no man spoke openly of him for fear of the Jews. Now watch this. Now about the midst of the
so
feast,
I want you to pass the microphone.
Jesus went up into the temple and taught.
Hurdles.
Now,
Hurdles.
here he was teaching in the
We still
temple.
have a bunch of hurdles.
Now, don't forget, you can go on YouTube and see our programs on YouTube. All you need to do is go to YouTube and type in Meyer Stahl. What is Truth? Meyer Stahl, with Meyer Stahl, and you could see our any number of 500 programs. Now, about the midst of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, How knows this man letters, having never learned? Well, he wrote the Bible. So certainly he knew the Bible. Let's go all the way down to verse 37. Now, this is the last day, that great day of the feast. That's what our topic is today. What is the last great day? And Jesus is going to explain it for us. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He who believes on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly, or his innermost being, shall flow rivers of living water. Now, what's that all about? But this spoke he of the Spirit, which they who believe on him should receive. For the Holy Spirit was not yet given, because Jesus was not yet glorified. So we're going to stop there. Well, remember YouTube. Okay. Now, here we are going to see the Holy Spirit. What is the Holy Spirit? Now, this is a mystery to most people. They just don't understand it. The Holy Spirit is a helper. It's a power of God. It
so I
helps
want you to pass the
a Christian to go through
Robert, question.
times of trouble, times of tribulation. It's a teacher. It's an important part of Christianity, because anyone who has the Holy Spirit will have eternal life. You need the Holy Spirit for eternal life. Now, we're going to go now to Revelation chapter 20, and we're going to look at verse 1. Now, this is important because this is telling us what's going to happen in the future time. It's a future prophecy.
Autonomy.
So let's read it. Verse 1 says, And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he
How do
laid
you fight
hold
back?
on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and
think one of
bound
the frust-
him 1,000 years. Now, what's the purpose of that? All we have to do is continue reading, and we'll know. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little
Resurrected.
season. Well, I told you last week when we
hand it
studied,
over to-
we'll stop there. I told you last week when we studied the Feast of Tabernacles, I would explain that. I would explain why he has to be released. Now, let's read one more verse here. Verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands.
One, what do you do?
And they lived
One, what do you
and
do?
reigned
I think
with
one of the
Christ 1,000 years. Now, one more. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. We're going to stop here. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to explain you about the rest of the dead. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Let's hand it over to Frank.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people
One
hear
action
better.
items. And so I think what most of us are
Do you suffer from rashes, dryness, flakiness, and thickness to the skin? 3A Research is conducting a trial of an investigational drug on plaque psoriasis. Subjects must be 18 years of age or older. This is an 8-week study. We will compensate you for your time and travel up to $225.
Enrolling participants now in Las Cruces. Contact our office at 575-288-1646 or visit our Facebook page at 3A Research or our website 3asites.com.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Meyer Stahl, the pastor of the Southern New Mexico Church of God, bringing you the program What is Truth? And our topic today is, what is the last great day? Now, we finished up, in case you missed the part of the program, you can always catch us on YouTube. All you need to do is type in "What is Truth" with Meyer Stahl, and you could pick
All right,
up.
now
You could pick out any one of
Somebody come up
a
with.
number
All right, now let's-
500 topics, different topics. Whatever topic would interest you, you could pick it out and listen, watch it. So why don't you watch us on YouTube? And but let's go back to the Bible now, and let's look at at a scripture that's so very important. And it's Revelation chapter 20, verse 5. We're looking at verse 5 now. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. Period. That's a period there. Now the next verse here is part of verse 6. Let's read this as the first part of verse 6. These chapters and verses were put in much later than when the Bible was first written. So we'll start verse 6 right here. This is the first resurrection. Now it explains it. Blessed and holy is he who has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So that verse is kind of out of sync. Okay, so this is the first resurrection, should belong to the first part of verse 6, because otherwise it's very confusing, because the first resurrection is when Jesus Christ comes back. The second resurrection is after the millennium. Let's read that again. Verse 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. See, period. That's the end of verse 5. And so let's explain who the rest of the dead are. We'll stop there. The rest of the dead are the rest of the dead. Okay. It's all the people who have ever lived before Jesus Christ came about 2,000 years ago. There could be billions of people who lived and died and never knew Jesus Christ. They didn't have a chance at salvation. They never had a chance at salvation. So all those people that lived prior to Jesus Christ coming and died prior to Jesus Christ coming will have their chance at salvation. Now, what about babies? Little tiny babies. There's no other name under heaven whereby men can be saved other than the name Jesus Christ. Now, they're innocent babies. Some are preborn before anything happens, and some of them are young.
What do you do?
They're not to the age of accountability, and they can't make up their mind if they believe in Jesus Christ or not. What about those young people? What about all of the Muslims, which are about 1,250,000,000
bumper sticker.
Muslims that do not name the name of Jesus Christ? If you show up in a Muslim country with a Bible, you're liable to lose your head. What about those people?
What's your
What about all the communist countries like China, Russia, North Vietnam, various other communist countries that don't believe in God, that are atheistic or agnostic?
A bumper sticker.
And the people are taught to be atheists, that there is no God. They are deceived, are they not? Yeah, what about those deceived people? What about all of the Christian religions that claim to be the true religion here in this world? and they all believe something different. They don't all believe the same things. And then there's the cults that, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, the various cults, and they don't understand that Jesus Christ is their Savior.
What do you do?
What about all those people who are deceived? They have to have their chance at salvation. So God is going to resurrect. We call it the second resurrection. The Bible doesn't call it the second resurrection, but it actually is. So those people deserve a chance at salvation. Now, there's a verse in the Bible, we'll turn there soon, but I want to finish up Revelation chapter 20. When those people are resurrected, Satan is released. And now Satan goes out and let's read it in verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog. This is Russia and China. To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about. This is Jerusalem, and the beloved city, Jerusalem. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So God made quick exit of those people, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. See that word are? It's in italics. It's not in the original. And shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Who's going to be tormented day and night forever and ever? It's the devil. The lake of fire was made for the devil. It wasn't made for people. If people are thrown into it, their flesh and blood, they're going to just burn up. That's going to be the end of them. Verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him who sat on it, from whose face the earth and heaven fled away, and there was no place found for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead which were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So the dead are coming back up and being judged. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it,
first of all,
and death and hell. This word hell means the grave.
What do you do?
Delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. Period. Now you see where it says this is the second death? This is part of verse 15. Okay, the first part of verse 15 is, this is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life
Good evening, everyone.
was cast into the lake of fire.
Okay. From Frank. Thank you, sir.
We're going to go. We're finishing up today.
Good evening, everyone.
We're come to the end of the program, but we're going to come back next week and explain a little bit more about this last great day. So please look in, and you'll see us explain more about it. We're going to look at Isaiah chapter 65. I'll start it so you'll have an idea where we're going. Isaiah chapter 65 says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. But be you glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying." Now this is the important verse. "There shall be no more there an infant of days, nor an old man that has not filled his days, for the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed." We're going to stop there. So, to sum it all up, there's going to be a 100-year period that people are going to live and have a chance to overcome Satan and come into God's kingdom and come into God's family. So I hope you're going to be there. Why don't you send away for these two very important booklets, and God's Holy Days and Why Were You Born? All you need to do is call us at area code 575-650-7359. Until next time, this is Meyer Stahl of the Southern New Mexico Church of God saying goodbye, my friends.
You have been listening to What is Truth with Pastor Meyer Stahl of the Southern New Mexico Church of God, located in Las Cruces, New Mexico. For copies of today's lesson or for more information, call area code 575-650-7359. That's 575-650-7359. Join us next week at this same time for another edition of What is Truth? Until next week, we wish you God's richest blessings.
We want action.
Attention CPAP users with sleep apnea. You may have heard about the importance of cleaning your CPAP mask and supplies regularly, but we can't stress enough the importance of replacing your old CPAP supplies every 90 days to prevent infections and improve your overall health. With Medicare and private insurance, you may qualify to receive regular replacement supplies with free home delivery at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Improve your sleep and take control of your health with new Medicare-covered CPAP supplies every 3 months.
Professor, thank you.
Great.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. That's 866-372-3669.
When the school board mismanages its financial fiduciary obligations, does not respect the will of the community, and pursues misguided policies not reflective of the community, we lose our trust and our parents deserve more. School board members are accountable for the regulations and policies they pursue. As these regulations and policies are debated, full transparency must occur in the deliberations with parents and the community. Trust is earned when the school board demonstrates its adherence to the will of the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Paid for by Macho for LCBS.
Great. We want action items. Great. We want action. Great. We want action items.
talk on the CoronaCast. My name is Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel, hiding behind this very floral mask. These are very comfortable, these square ones. I've been using the ones with the nose going up there, but your nose always seems to fly out. So, but since we're in a safe environment, aren't we, Mark?
We are.
Yes.
We're in a very secure environment.
We're good.
The studio has actually been safety
It
certified.
is loaded with.
We have sanitizer. Michael and I are between a screen.
They fill the entire house with alcohol every night, and then we drink it. Huh? On the table. Oh, there it is. There's the table.
Yes, there. Plus, all the crew wears masks. Thanks, guys.
Yes. You guys are great. Where's the applause? The audience is wearing a mask.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're wearing Halloween masks. But that's okay, too.
Somebody came up with.
Oh, there you go.
And there
we
is
can
our
those.
sanitizing
Protection.
wipes. There we go. Flying in.
He even gives us condoms, so we're good. Can I say that on this show? Yeah. Okay, good.
Or as my dad used to call them, condoms.
I don't know.
We're going to do a lightning
round. What's that? Oh, really?
Supply the masks here. So
how do you? Where do you? You scotch tape them to your head.
This is the safest studio in town.
Yes, it is.
In fact, this is the only studio in the state carrying on live debates on Mondays and Wednesdays. We have live debates in studio. All the other debates, like up in Albuquerque, they're all Zoom.
Zoom. We are real people here.
We are
totally real.
And we do it
We
safely.
can see the set from here. It's perfectly safe.
Studio C.
So you're probably wondering who our guest is, Lucien Godot.
All right, now we're going to do a lightning round.
Lucien is he was a famous
let's go back in time.
Sword fighter, épée, like this. In 1923, he was really famous, and he had a point.
But he was foiled.
He was
March
foiled.
2020.
Yes. So you don't need foil for this. Anyhow, they named this drink after him. They made this drink and named it after him. It's called Lucien Godot, and we will start with.
Let's hope we do him justice.
Yes, we hope you get the point. Start with an ounce of this is Broker's Gin, always good. Look, I love the little hat.
Little derby hat.
There's a little derby hat that goes on the top
proving
too.
It to be London Dry.
Yes. So, and it's for brokers. And how many minutes we got left? What are you doing?
Thanks a lot.
Oh.
You're right in front of the camera. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, pulling back. Pulling back.
What are they? Mask.
So an ounce of Broker's Gin. Broker's is sort of like Beefeater, not as junipery. I think it's good all around. It does, a lot of gins have their own particular flavor.
They all do.
Yes.
Remember the night we tasted 60 gins? They were all different.
Yes, we did. One of our favorites, Campari, which is always good with a Negroni. Half ounce of Campari. So Mark was stating that this is like what, a Negroni, but not.
Well, it's a variation, but
in
not
a way,
really.
In a way, yeah.
But it's close.
And instead of the red vermouth you would put in a Negroni, and you'd use equal parts of Negroni to be fair, we're using white or French or dry vermouth. They're synonymous.
Like
dry
you would use
vermouth.
in a martini.
This is martini stuff. We talk about the perfect martini. People think there is a perfect martini, right?
Well,
but actually the perfect martini.
Can there be?
Well, it's the name of martini where you use half dry, half sweet vermouth, and it comes out pretty good. So this vermouth, Campari,
sounds like
gin,
blasphemy to me.
and one of my favorites, Cointreau, gives you that good orangey flavor.
Much better than triple sec.
Yes. And this is good for margaritas too. Much better for margaritas than anything in life.
Absolutely.
And so we're gonna have an orangey.
That provides
bitter,
sweetness
dry
to this drink.
So we may have done this drink 6 years ago. I don't remember.
I don't think this one.
Maybe not this one. And this drink is stirred, not shaken.
That's good to know.
I am paying attention for once to the instructions.
You don't want to bruise the gin, though.
I think there's a lot of things we're getting together. Usually with only alcohol, you don't have to shake it. You shake it if there's like lemon or lime or something.
I see.
Because
I think
fruit.
it just increases the refrigeration of the drink if you shake it.
It gets colder a lot faster.
Yes.
In fact, when I shake it with my hands here, sometimes my hands freeze and I can't feel them.
And
I'm numb.
And it's a whole lot noisier on a TV studio set.
quick
let's see if this
answer
works.
and pass the mic. Same.
Gonna try this this way.
You know,
Ooh, it's good color.
This show is all about food and drink.
Well, I would advise.
Also
Obviously
about
drink.
discovering for ourselves what we like, what we don't like.
Yes.
What we don't know what we're doing.
And we do
Look,
this.
you know, that's only like 2.5 ounces, and it pretty much fills up these glasses.
And we do this. A lot of these are experiments that we do as a public service to you viewers out there.
This is not an experiment. This is, we're testing a real drink because we're saving the experiment for the second half of the show.
Which we always do.
Where we are going to try 2 homemade beverages, one vodka made with cherries. We'll talk about it more later. And another gin made with peaches.
It's tasty.
Wow.
What's the bitter? Campari.
Campari.
Definitely doesn't need bitters.
No, it's pretty good.
But it is a good drink. It's not quite too sweet.
Not quite. Oh, here's something I forgot. I don't know if this is going to make a difference.
Oh.
Yes.
A twist. Orange twist. Couldn't hurt.
You usually use orange with when you're doing a Negroni, and since this is sort of Negroni-esque. Can tell?
Not yet.
Other than the dirt that's in the...
We probably should have squeezed a little bit, get some of the oil in there.
I could have, but you don't have my fingers all over it.
I know.
Anyway, we have a show today that has no topics whatsoever, right?
Oh no, we're topic heavy.
Do you want to start with, this is October. We're filming this the first day of October.
That's right.
And we're going to be on the third day. So we're giving you the first third of the month's days. Not all of them, but if you go to calendar of days, there's some weird days this month. The October 1st is National Black Dog Day, in case you have a black dog. So that's Black Dog Matters.
Well,
October 2nd.
There used to be a Black Dog Cafe up in Socorro. They've since changed their name.
Maybe.
There's a stop there.
There's a Blue Moon.
It's a coffee bar.
Up the street. Produce Misting Day is tomorrow.
Produce Misting.
I know.
I'll tell my grocer.
Who makes up these things? You're not misting, and it's Produce Misting Day. It's also Fried Scallops Day, Name Your Car Day, Body Language Day.
Have you ever named
Well,
your
I
car?
would advise.
Yeah.
Did you?
Same question,
Yeah,
everyone.
mine,
Well, I would
Auto.
advise.
I once had a Volkswagen van. I called him Otto.
Auto.
O-T-T-O, German car, but he was also an automobile.
I heard they banned it.
I'm like,
Well, I would advise.
October 3rd, National Techies Day, along with National Boyfriend Day. So if your boyfriend's a techie,
You've got it made.
Oh, yeah.
That's your day.
It's 2 days, and it's the only time in the entire year you have to acknowledge him.
What if you're the techie and your boyfriend
Okay,
is just your boyfriend?
Well, then you could both go out and have dinner.
Oh.
That's good.
Well, say hello to your boyfriend for me.
October 4th is National Vodka Day. Vodka.
Great.
I thought every day was.
That's daily vodka day.
Great. Thank you.
Taco Day and World Smile Day. Not called
For
National
themselves.
Smile Day. It's World Smile Day.
Was?
You don't have to smile until October 4th, and hopefully you can smile in a few months.
You're not going to read all those, are you?
No, I'm really editing these. I just want to do the funny ones. October 5th, Get Funky Day. October 6th, Orange Wine Day. It's also Plus Size Day and German American Day.
Plus size, what day is that?
October 6th.
Plus
Do you
size
know
day.
who you want to...
That means Lane Bryant should have good sales going that day.
That's true. They should put on it in the news. 7th is National Frap Day and Inner Beauty
Question,
Day,
everyone.
right after
Okay,
Plus
on
Size
that-
Appreciation Day.
Inner Beauty Day. Well, that's
Yes.
important.
And then the 8th is Pierogi Day
Pierogi.
and Fluffernutter Day
You're going to make some pierogies?
and Touch Tag Day.
Touchdown Day?
Touch Tag.
Touch Tag.
Oh, and the one I like best here is October 9th, which is Moldy Cheese Day.
Frank,
At our house, it's always Moldy
It's
Cheese Day.
It's always moldy cheese day. Well, I like Roquefort cheese. And, you know,
It's moldy.
It comes
It's
with
moldy.
mold. It's like blue cheese, only it's better than blue cheese. And it's very hard to find in Las Cruces unless you know where to get it. And I get
Roquefort
it.
is good.
You know where to get Roquefort cheese? You can find it at Toucan, Albertsons on Telshore.
On Telshire only.
That's it, and that's about it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Sometimes Albertsons on El Paseo.
Yeah, speaking of food, and I know we have plenty of topics to make our way through, we had our last Schwann's delivery this week.
Oh, we need last.
Well, he gave us our food and he said, I have to tell you something. We're no longer delivering by truck. We are all fired. They're all let go. Everybody with Schwann's. There's a lot of Schwann's delivery guys.
I've seen them all over town.
They're always nice guys. You got to be a
where-
really nice guy to be a Schwann's guy because your people that you're delivering to have to like you.
And they drive around with refrigerated trucks.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work.
So you're done with Schwann's, huh?
No, Schwann's is going to continue. You go online and they will have it sent to you on Federal Express.
One of our crew members has their phone ringing. Can they
We'll
please
stop it.
turn it?
We'll stop it, yes.
And so I know how much you love Schwann's.
Schwann's is good. They've had
Schwann's.
some great
Now,
ways of
because
making
we're
fish. Breaded fishes.
Yeah, they freeze it.
Ancient grain.
Oh, ancient grain coating?
Yeah, some of them have tortilla coating.
My mother was a big fan of Schwann's in her day.
Yes. Well, and that's when it was fresher because, it was a longer time ago.
Yes, it was. Now,
can't knock freezing, man.
Do they still serve food on airlines? You took a long airline flight.
They did.
They did?
They did. But little, they don't cook it. It's cheese and fruit.
Oh,
that's in first
it's
class.
not a meal. It's a snack.
No, we weren't on there during
Did they give you
meals.
peanuts?
Same question to everyone. Again, just to
Remember
reframe the question,
when-
time machine.
They give
And the
you
reason
pretzels
where I'm
and
going
stuff.
with this is
They also give you those biscuits.
Same
American
question,
Airlines
everyone.
has these great biscotti.
Again, just to
that you
reframe
can
the-
buy that in Albertsons and Target.
I see.
And they are great.
Time-
I
again,
even buy
just to
them.
reframe
You
the
can sit
question,
in your
time
house
machine-
and make believe you're on an airplane.
Did you have cocktails on the flight?
Well, I think we had one.
Again,
No,
just
no,
to
we did have
reframe the
cocktails. Yes.
again, just to
Well,
reframe the
speaking of
question,
airlines,
time machine.
The Las
and
Cruces
the-
International Airport. They call it international, I guess, because of all the drug flights.
And the
from
reason
Mexico.
where I'm going with this is that
that's where the money
a
is
lot of
But the city wants to update
at a much higher level.
the airport.
So that they get flights
they
from
fared
all
much-
over.
They want to attract
Shut down the
a commercial
state.
airline.
You also had
like they
people
used
that
to
work-
have back in the
Just that
90s and
change.
even before that.
There are
They had
weird
airline.
people-
I flew in and out of the
How
Las
can you
Cruces
model
Airport several times.
So
I flew to
this goes
Denver
back
and
to-
back.
So you were a drug mule?
How can you model that?
And
Here's the answer.
Michael, stop. Yeah, so no, I never flew to Mexico.
Answer and pass the
Well,
mic.
even
Same
LA.
question.
They don't fly to Mexico from here, but they fly in from Mexico.
Well, they get out of here. then.
Not officially.
How did they get out of
Well,
here?
they-
How
I
did
don't know
get
what
out of
they
here?
do.
Yeah.
You were in power.
But
For our children.
so we may soon have international or national flights, commuter type flights, not big planes like 707s.
No, little ones. In fact, yeah, when
Small
we first moved
12
here, that's what they
seaters,
had.
20 seaters, something like that.
Time-
And they,
again,
they
just
go to
reframe the
Amarillo
question.
and
Yeah,
Frank,
in Denver,
time-
they,
again, just
wherever they
reframe-
think they can make money setting up routes.
they're not going to go directly to any big city.
Frank, again, just
Well,
Maybe Phoenix.
I flew to Denver.
again, just
Oh, you know where you
reframe
could
the
go?
question.
I flew to Albuquerque.
You know where you could go?
Again, just
What
to
big city
reframe the
they'll probably go
question,
to?
time machine.
El Paso. El Paso.
They did fly to El Paso in the past. Yeah,
ridiculous.
they did.
You want to go, by the time you get on the plane, you could be in
Beach
El
drive.
Paso.
Well, it's true.
But if you don't have a car,
But if you go to the east side of town anyway, might as well fly.
that's true.
So,
So yes, that'll be exciting. Now that airline traffic is down to 30% of what it was, they just laid off 23,000 people from the airlines.
Yes. More to follow.
But if things start again, why not?
How can you model that?
We are used to.
Sure.
I flew at least once so far, well, twice to get back.
Yeah.
And
called a round trip.
So
the
this goes back
airports
to-
were pretty empty.
Pretty sparse.
The
The Las Cruces Airport used to have a decent restaurant, believe it or not.
we ate there as a mystery dinner once. It was pretty good.
I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been to the airport.
Probably
for a
not
while.
right now. No.
They're at 25% capacity, I'm sure. Let's take a break,
Already, we're
and then
taking
we'll
a break.
fly on to the next topics,
We have the entire list here.
and we'll do our alternative.
Oh, yeah, we do
cocktail
our alternative stuff. Wow.
as soon as we finish this. This is pretty good.
Keep the orange. Yeah. You think okay?
Should we save the orange for the next one?
So this goes back to
Now, because we're preaching we the people, let's turn to we the people. Go ahead.
Hi, you found us on Channel 98. keep watching because we have so much in store for you. We want to grow together. Your channel, local and real.
If we want to improve America's healthcare system, let's start by improving the health of Americans. Despite the best doctors, hospitals, and medical advancements, Americans are not as healthy as they should be. We spend too much on treatment and not enough on wellness and prevention. We need a system based on primary care. When patients have a medical home and a long-term relationship with the doctor, the result is a longer, healthier life and reduced medical costs for everyone. Let's make America a place where health is primary.
Horizon Granite is here. It's here. Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180. Horizon Granite is here. It's here. Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Hi, welcome back to Double Talk. Mark and Michael here, trying to come up with a new concoction of a cocktail.
Yes, we have this cherry vodka, which is a beautiful bottle. Those are cherries. Those are all cherries.
Cherries off the tree.
And Mark wanted me to try to get the cherries out. I understand from the person who made this, which is Debbie Levy, that she had to squeeze the cherries down
just to get them in.
So you can't really get them out.
No, you can't.
I don't know what, with a fishing hook or something.
We'll have to drink the vodka and break the bottle.
In what
No,
way?
it's a great bottle. I love that bottle.
It's a nice bottle.
And it looks good.
Thanks, Debbie.
Debbie Levy said that once you finish, the cherries will dry up, and then you can get them. But then they'll dry. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with
Okay,
dried
let's try
cherries.
this. So we
Or
put
them
Cokie
stout.
Americano in based on Mark's theoretical suggestion.
Now, these are very tart cherries.
Okay.
And it's hard to
Yeah,
drink
but it's
this.
not bad.
With the
Wow.
Cokie, it's much better. Okay?
You know, that's pretty good. Cokie Americano.
Cokie Americano has just the right sweetness to counteract the tartness of these tart cherries.
Cokie Americano is considered the substitute for
In
Lillet
what-
that has more quinine in it than Lillet.
Does it? Lillet is more wine-like, isn't it?
It's wine-based, so is this.
So is Cokie Americano. Where can you
Yes.
get Cokie
Okay, we're gonna-
Americano?
Huh?
Where can you get that Cokie Americano?
My house. No, you can get it at Specs. Cokie Americano is
Yes.
great to have around the house. You
Yeah,
can drink
but if you
that
go down
as a
to
drink.
if you go to El Paso to get it, then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
No, you don't, because you're not going to El Paso. You're going to Specs. If you don't talk to anybody,
Well, you're in your car the whole way.
that's right.
And then you're wearing a mask in the store.
That's right.
Shouldn't be a problem.
And then you ask people questions like, "Where's the Cokie Americano?"
And then once you're in El Paso, you might as well go to have a decent lunch somewhere.
Might as well, Mark.
I mean, you're there anyway.
Might as well, and see a movie, and go to a bar.
Well,
and go to a bar in Cincinnati Street, which is probably COVID
Ghost town.
center.
Well, you can't see a movie yet, but I guess you could go to a bar outdoors.
I got to admit, when this starts to mix with the Cokie Americano, it's pretty good. So,
We're having it on the rocks,
so
which
Deb-
I think helps a lot. You know, there was a COVID-19 spike in the state, primarily, well, not primarily, but also at NMSU.
Finish your drink.
They had a
Yeah.
number of new COVID-19 spikes among students and
Here on Earth.
employees.
Well, that's going to happen anytime you get people together, and that's the trouble. Everybody thinks their church could get together. You know, we just finished the High Holy Days, which is like 10 days.
Yes.
Half of them we were praying, but we were all on Zoom. It was really good. And, you know, the last day of the High Holy Days is Yom Kippur, where you fast the entire from evening to the next evening.
Uh-huh.
And usually when you're out in the temple, you're getting kind of tired because you're sitting there, you're getting out.
Uh-huh.
But when you're home looking on Zoom, it's not bad.
Now, when you say fasting, does that mean you cannot have any cocktails?
It means the most you can have is water because we live in the desert.
Ooh, but luckily we've passed over that now.
You passed over. No, that's later in the.
Oh,
that's in your people's Easter time. I should
My
say
people.
your peoples. You don't have
They're not
people.
my people.
You don't have any people. Your mother's people.
I got people, but not those people.
Finish your drink so we can start on.
Oh, okay. Now the census 2020, that was supposed to have ended at the end of September, but there was talk about extending it another month so they could get the proper count, and I hope they do.
Well,
I haven't heard.
They extended at least until the October 6th, right?
Well, I don't know, but October 7th is when you can start voting early. But now, right now it's mail-in ballots time. You can order your mail-in ballot, fill it out, and either mail it in or deliver it in person, as someone I know did this week. They delivered it to the county center building on Motel Boulevard. They filled it out and delivered it in person.
Yeah.
So that person has now voted. I won't vote until early voting begins so I can do it in person. That's the
I
way
like that
to
idea
do it.
too. I like that idea.
It's part of the ritual that I do.
So our friend Fred Torres is going to be working over on Motel Boulevard. So you can say hi to him. Finish that up, and we're going to the second experimental drink. This is with cherries. This one is even more experimental. This is gin with peaches from Cheryl Decker's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
She put basil in it, and after she did that and tasted it, she put cinnamon in it.
Okay.
So,
and then she put it in a...
She put a cinnamon stick.
What kind of bottle is that?
Oh, she put it in a Fever Tree bottle.
Fever Tree bottle.
Fever Tree is her and her husband Dave's
favorite
tonic. Mixer, man. And
yes.
It's a good mixer, as
a good
everybody
mixer.
knows.
You know, as we sample this,
we're going to keep talking.
Restaurants in town have been open. Many of them
Ooh,
erected tents in the parking lot so that we can eat outdoors. Nothing like eating al fresco.
Smells good, but the
cinnamon
has a bite, doesn't it? I don't know.
How many sticks you put in?
She said a stick.
One stick. For how long?
I don't know. It's pretty cinnamony. What can we do? Campari?
Yeah.
No.
So, I went to Wex for breakfast the other day.
That's a good place.
They have a tent in the parking lot. Actually, I wish I'd eaten out there. I didn't even see the tent when we walked in the front door. We sat inside. And then when you exit, you have to exit out the side door. Oh, there's the tent, and everybody's sitting there having breakfast.
Actually, that'd be a nice place. The weather is perfect now for being intense, and
yes,
it's always good to have intense.
And if you like your meal to be intense,
yeah, you're like
now's the time to do it.
So, what do you think, Campari, Cointreau?
Quant.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
now,
not Cokie, right?
Now, there's been a lot of bird deaths. Birds are just dropping from the sky. It was in the papers. Birds all over Doña County, New Mexico, in fact, all over the country, are now dropping dead by the millions.
No turkeys, so don't get your hopes up for Thanksgiving.
Well, maybe that's a way to kill the
Maybe
turkeys.
you don't want dead,
Well, I think what's killing the birds is the 5G technology. It's killing them. It's intense microwave. They did a test in California last year or earlier this year of the 5G, and a whole flock of birds just fell dead. Now, we figured out how to kill the bees.
Yes,
thanks, Monsanto. Now we figured out how to kill the birds. Thanks, 5G technology.
We figured out how to kill the humans.
And
thanks, COVID.
We figured out how to kill the cows. Well, that's on purpose because that's slaughterhouse.
Yeah. Well, if we didn't eat cows, there would be no cows alive. Because what are they going to do? Nobody's going to care about. They can't protect themselves. This is pretty good with Cointreau, believe it or not.
Better.
And it's very interesting.
I like it.
It's interesting.
Good. Now, we also need to report...
What's that? It looks
we
like lunch.
We have 3 rest in peace people.
You want to do the rest in peace?
We got to talk about Helen Reddy, who was massive in the 70s.
Yes, she was great.
And into the 80s a little bit. She had some huge hits, Helen Reddy. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar.
Could you do that with a high voice?
No.
You can't do that.
Why should I? Not all women talk that way, Michael, or sing
No,
that way.
but you didn't. You haven't called any of these girly drinks. I'm surprised.
Michael, that would be a sexist thing to do.
Oh.
And so, Helen Reddy, 78 years old.
Wow. I'm sure a grandparent, maybe a great-grandparent.
Now, also, we need to report the death of Mac Davis.
Do we have pictures of him?
We
Because
do.
people didn't know what he looked like. He was pretty much a songwriter.
Renowned songwriter and performer. He had his own TV show.
I would guess most of those are from the 60s.
70s.
That's from the 70s?
He was a renowned songwriter. He had his own TV show, Summer Replacement, the Mac Davis Show.
Yeah.
And he wrote
years?
a lot of big-time songs people don't realize. He was also a movie star. He was in a number of big-time movies.
I'm waiting for you to give me the names.
Well, he co-starred with Nick Nolte in North Dallas 40.
Oh.
He was in a wrestling film called All the Marbles with Peter Falk, and several other films that are not on the tip of my tongue. So Mac Davis.
Easy Rider?
No,
No,
it was
it
not
wasn't
like
that.
that.
Oh, okay.
Also, we report the death of Martin Milner.
Martin.
He
I
worked in
remember
a
him
lot
from
of movies
Route
until
66.
Route 66
was the first, and that was
and
great.
then he really became big with Adam 12.
Which I never saw. I saw 7 through 11, but I never saw Adam 12.
Adam 12, yes. Yeah. And he was the co-star of that, produced by Jack Webb, who also produced Dragnet. And so, yeah, Martin Milner, he was in his 80s when he died. Mac Davis was in 78 too, and he died the same day as Helen Reddy. She was 78.
These are all coincidences. They're not planned.
There's no such thing as a coincidence, Mike.
You mean because it just happens? It happens to be a coincidence? Yeah, there's nothing that keeps these people in the same class except the day they died. That's it. That's the coincidence.
Right.
I mean,
my point exactly. No
did
coincidence.
Helen Reddy ever sing a Mac Davis song? Probably not.
I'm sure she would.
Were you going to talk about a restaurant? Did you just merely talk about going to Wex?
I did go to Wex for the first time.
But the tent was there?
Yeah, Wex was pretty good. I'd never been there.
Tents are good. You know,
what I wanted was huevos rancheros. I couldn't find it on the breakfast menu.
They have a big huevos rancheros.
They put them in the lunch menu. He said, "Oh, these are our new menus." It was under the lunch menu, and I wasn't looking in the lunch menu.
You're so strict. I mean,
they are.
No, you're strict. You say, "Oh, I don't want lunch. I want breakfast." Do you have any breakfast huevos rancheros?
That's what I wanted. Anyway, what I had was good.
They do have a great huevos rancheros.
Their chili was good.
People love their eggs Benedict, because they have, and you'd love this, big slab of ham.
Oh.
You love that ham stuff.
Oh, you're ham enough for me.
Ham enough.
And
kosher. How come I got all the bottles on my side?
They're your bottles.
Oh. Where's your Corona? You didn't bring your Corona Cast can.
I know, I have it. But we've got too much on the table as it is. I didn't want to bring it out.
So we could run through these. I think we did pretty well mixing this with Coca Americano, and this is pretty good with Cointreau.
It is.
So thank you, Debbie Levy and Cheryl Decker.
Cheryl Decker, thank you.
And keep your output of alcohol. They don't make the alcohol; they just flavor it.
Yes,
which is
incorporate
important.
it.
That's important. Huh?
Incorporation.
Yes.
That's what they do. So we're done, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Don't forget Lucien Godet, great sword fighter from the 1920s.
And we'll be back next week with a new cocktail.
From the 1920s.
That's not good.
It's like...
Attention CPAP users with sleep apnea. You may have heard about the importance of cleaning your CPAP mask and supplies regularly, but we can't stress enough the importance of replacing your old CPAP supplies every 90 days to prevent infections and improve your overall health. With Medicare and private insurance, you may qualify to receive regular replacement supplies with free home delivery at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Improve your sleep and take control of your health with new Medicare-covered CPAP supplies every 3 months.
A school board member is accountable to the community. They're transparent to the community and has the community's trust in the regulations and policies set by the board. This only happens when the school board truly reflects the best interest, values, and is the voice of the parents in the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
This November,
Number 1 recap. This November. Number
Serving it up with Joe Nathan on the Las Cruces Channel. And guess where I am? I'm down at the fabulous Las Cruces studio. Yeah, you know it. Chris Solar, Don Solar, the #1 host in the world, I gotta say, over on this part, right? Southwest side. Hey, so I've got a fabulous show lined up for you tonight. And got a great guest I want to introduce you. But before we get to that, I want to tell you exactly how my life has been in the last few months. My God, I joined up with a young lady down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, that's right, Albuquerque, New Mexico. A talent agency called DME Talent Agency down at the Cottonwood Mall. Yeah, I also joined up with a young lady by the name of Miss Carol Skipwith. And she's done some awesome jobs taking photos. She's been in the movie industry for over 70 years. 70 years. That's a long time. And she's done some of the greats. She's taken some of the photos of some of the greatest people. And I also have another gentleman by the name of Tino Dovek. And he's a part of Broken Chain. That's right, Broken Chain Photography. And the guy is amazing. Once again, his name is Tino. And they are all residing in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's just a hop, skip, and a jump, right? Hey, take yourself on down there. If you're interested in movies, modeling, you want to see DME Talent Agency. November. Yes, Miss Deidre. Tell her that I sent you down from the fabulous Las Cruces Studios. Hey, a few other things I want to tell you about. Listen, we are Corona safe. We're Corona safe. We practice safety here at the Las Cruces studio. We got our good stuff on the table, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right? And also, listen, I've been building my craft. Not just building my name just for myself, but those who I've been connected with. Listen, there's no better place in the world than to invest in people. You got that. You got to invest in people. You can invest in a bank and they can, rob and steal and cheat and whatever else they do in the bank. But when you invest in a soul, guess what? You create memories. And that's what I want to do down here at the Las Cruces Studios. I want to create memories. I want to connect with those who are doing fabulous things in our community. What about you, Las Cruces? What about you, Albuquerque? Hey, and who knows? Guess what? Anywhere else in the world, I don't know any other city in this southwest area like the Las Cruces Studios that's been around for over 13 years. Yeah, that's right, 13 years. And guess what? Down through the years, I've seen it at least 7 years of my life. I've been in and out of this Las Cruces Studios. And I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Chris Solar and Don. Hey, it's time for me to get down, busy, and dirty with my guests. All right, you got it. All right, I'm getting ready to go on over and meet him right now. And you guys take a journey with me as I go and talk to him. Yes, yes, yes. All right. We're getting ourselves situated, and just in case I didn't mention it, I do want to make a mention, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to take a trip down with me with Santa Fe, New Mexico. Some awesome things going down over in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I had an opportunity to work with some of the greatest actors. Oh my God, it was great. It was amazing. It was safe. We were corona-free as much as possible, of course, right? But check out, if you haven't, The Harder They Fall. That's it. The Harder They Fall. Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Regina King, and some of the other greats. They are in this movie. All right? And yours truly, I had an opportunity to work with them. All right? So, hey, I want to talk to my guests. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome Mr. Louis Cena of Lalo's Sonora, correct? Lalo's and Sonora style dogs, man. God bless you, man. Good to see you, man. How you doing? Good to meet you, man. I can't wait to we got some things we want to do.
Yes.
I want to see some stuff. I want to reminisce on what I, experienced, man.
Yes, sir.
But before we get to that, I want an opportunity to get to know you better. All right? Because, listen, I don't know who knows you, how many people know you, but I just met you. And the atmosphere, the hospitality, the professionalism, your skills. Yeah. Man, I met that the other night when my daughter took me over to your establishment, right?
Yeah.
And, man, some people call it like a hot dog stand, but, I want to call it a mobile cuisine.
Mobile cuisine, yeah.
Mobile cuisine. Yeah. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Mobile cuisine. So he's, some people just take hot dogs and they slap it in a bun and it just looks all dry and they look at you and say, ketchup or mustard, buddy. Yeah. And man, listen here, these dogs are wrapped in a little heavenly glory.
Yep, wrapped in bacon.
Oh my God, it's delicioso for the negrito.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, man, it helped my black chicken. Oh, my brother. The black chicken came out with me.
It came out, yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I want to take some moments, right now, and let's get intimate, and let's talk about the vision, how it got started and all that good stuff. So once again, Lalo's Sonora style dogs, all right? Okay. And once again, Mr. Louis Sena. Hey, man, it's so great to get to meet you for the first time. And if you will, give us just a few moments. Tell us who the person is.
Well, my name is Louis Sena, like we've already met last time. I'm actually here from New Mexico. I'm from eastern New Mexico.
Okay.
Well, my mother is the one that taught me how to cook.
Wow.
She's the one that at a young age started teaching me first how to reheat and then how to start cooking.
Yes.
Little did I know that love was going to grow whenever I started working in the restaurant business.
Yes.
And then that's been my passion for a long time. Obviously, starting a restaurant or opening a business is not anything easy.
It's not.
Not at all.
Yes, not at all.
Even for a food truck.
Yes.
But we had this goal that we wanted to open a place, and actually we had some sad events happen last year.
Okay.
My little brother passed away March.
Oh, man.
Right before COVID.
Wow.
Or right before it got crazy. You know? I was working for another fast food chain.
Yes.
And when that happened, I said, you know what? Life's too short.
Yes.
I had a food trailer sitting there, and I said, you know what? It's time to bring the vision alive.
Okay.
So I sat down and we put together this menu.
Mm-hmm.
We designed with help of my friend Geronimo.
Yes.
We did the art on the trailer.
Is he the gentleman that I met?
That's my brother Mike.
Oh, okay.
The one you met. Yes.
Yeah.
Geronimo helps me during the days.
Okay.
But he's also our artist.
Yes.
He's the one that does our logos, and he's the one that helped me, like I say, paint the trailer. Because everything on the trailer that you don't really get to see at night is stuff that we did. We actually painted all the murals and the logos on the trailer.
Wow. And I did. I'm a very detailed individual, right? So, I had bad experience once before on a food truck, right? And honestly, I went blind for a couple of, I think, hours, right? Where it was, who it was, it's not important, right? And that's not what this is about. But I wanted to share that, man, when my daughter started explaining to me how you guys prepared, I was intrigued, okay? And so I wanted to go down, and first law is, what am I going to see? Right, and then when I looked at your trailer, man, it was really nice, right? Well put together. I liked how you had all the labels and showing people what they can get, how they can get it, and how you made it, and hearing the skillets and the different vegetables frying on. You know what I'm saying? It was intriguing, right? And so and then what really made it so much more comfortable is how you guys would stick your head out the window see who's asking these questions, and then coming out and pointing to us and letting us know exactly what we were ordering. I thought that was awesome, man.
You know, we one of the biggest things that we strive for is to have not only good food,
yes,
but good customer service.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
I know that those things go hand in hand. And that's one thing that my brother brought aboard.
Right.
You know, he's been in the customer service business for a long time, not exactly food. He's done food, but not all his life.
Yes.
But he's the one that's helped me train the guys, and you know, obviously he's the one that you meet when you first walk up.
Yes,
you know?
he was.
So we wanted to make an impact when you come to our place, because we don't want you to show up and just be, hi.
That's it.
What do you want?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Or if at that, you know, some places sometimes just open the window, you know. We wanted this to be, we don't want any confusion. You know, we want you to show up and be like, okay, so this is what's on the menu.
Exactly.
You know, and
the pictures. Yeah, key.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You had something else?
You know, no, just that. You know, that we really strive that we want the customer to be feel welcome.
Okay.
You know, because it is my home, so I want you to feel like you are in my home.
Exactly.
You know? That hey, hi, how you doing? You
right,
know,
right.
We don't do any special mottos. We don't do the hi, welcome to, my name is.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's
know?
too commercial.
Yeah. You know, I tell my people I want you to be natural.
Yes.
Like they just walked into your house, how would you greet them? Obviously, with professionalism, you know,
right.
we don't want them to act like it's your best friend from school, but you know, and it's really helped us.
Yes.
You know, it's really helped us because the people feel comfortable coming to us.
Okay, so check this out. You earlier made mention of working at another food place. So what did you like or dislike concerning about the previous job?
Well, I've been in the food business for about 25 years.
Right.
Okay. The biggest, I would say, downfall for being in the restaurant business is that you work for someone and they don't always see all the work you do.
That's right.
You know, you're a number.
Yes, exactly.
So I can't regret what I've done.
Right.
Because I've been in the business for a long time, and I think that's what's given us the edge.
Understood.
You know, where I went from fast food to fine dining. So not only have I learned how to make stuff that's quick, I know how to make it, you know, good with fresh ingredients.
Right.
You know, but the downfall would be that, like I said, you don't get recognized as much as as sometimes your potential brings you.
Yes, okay. So what are some of your new challenges, new challenges, and those problems that you face? And how did you, I guess, convert into your own ownership because of those old and new problems?
So the old problems that we, you know, like I said, was working for a company that did not, was not appreciative as much as I would have liked them to. And also, like I said, the family emergency that we went through, those were the problems.
How do you wrestle with?
Well, I guess the issues that kind of pushed us into opening our own business.
Right.
The new issue, I mean, well, I guess we could still talk about Corona, you know?
Yes.
Corona was an issue because we could not become a actual established business because of Corona.
Yes.
So we were considered a temporary business all through Corona.
Wow.
We could not receive any help.
Wow.
We could not get any loans, you know, because we were not actually considered a business. Now our new problem, well, we want to grow.
Yes.
You know, we want to, I guess it's a good problem.
The excitement of the unknown, yes?
It's a good problem. We want to grow, you know.
That's a good thing.
We want to get that building that you saw. We want to get that one ready so that, fingers crossed.
Right.
One day we can have some indoor dining, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so we have some goals. You know.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up real quick, but I want to know this real quick. Okay. So what are some of your starting levels, your final levels, right, of becoming this individual who's going to crush this and impact this area?
Man. So what kind of change? Like what kind of
let's make it quick if you can.
Changes that I got to make. You know, we just want to adapt to the community. We want to be able to do whatever they want us to.
That is it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time on the first half. But guess what? Stay tuned. We got some delicious guests coming to join us on the next episode. Come on, stay back, stay tuned. All right, we'll be back after this.
Did you know that student loans and credit card debt stifle our students' post-secondary and post-collegiate pursuits? Hello, I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, candidate for School Board District 3. Our students will greatly benefit when they are empowered with financial literacy. This will give them the ability and confidence to manage and navigate financial choices they will face, including that of student loans, credit cards, and debt management. With your help, I will implement a financial literacy program that will prepare our students to overcome any financial challenges they may face. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Paid for by Macho Courthouse, yes.
Hey, welcome back to the second half, and I can smell something. It's a little heavenly. It is none other than Lalo Sonora Style Dogs, baby. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, would you take a look at this? Oh, my goodness. Louis, you shouldn't have.
Oh, I should. I'm hungry. I don't know about you.
Oh, my man, I haven't eaten at all day just because I'm about to get this right here. Okay, tell me what's in this right here.
Okay, so this is our loaded fries that you have right there in front of you.
Uh-huh.
So those are hand-cut fries, not frozen.
Hand-cut?
Yes, sir. We have our own.
Like Grandma used to do.
Yes.
Like Grandma.
We have our own special seasoning that we do on that.
Mm.
So that comes with fresh beans.
Wow.
Our carne asada that's marinated for 24 hours, fresh tomatoes, onions, cilantro, and of course our sour cream and salsa that we make in-house.
Good Lord Jesus. I'm about to have it, and the negrito is ready for you right now, bro.
Oh, you're going to eat.
Okay, show us this. What's going on with this, man?
So, let's look at this one. So these are two of the dogs that we brought.
Yes.
We have a total of 10 different dogs.
I learned a lot about.
Okay.
Hold on, don't put it down yet. What is this one right here? Tell me that one.
So this one is our vaquero dog. Okay.
Say it again.
Vaquero.
Okay, I'm working on my black skin, bro.
Like a cowboy. Vaquero.
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 Vaquero, fala negrito.
So we call it the vaquero chili dog, like a cowboy chili dog.
Okay, all right.
And then our staple dog, which is a Sonora.
Sonora.
Yes.
All right, I like the Sonora. Style dogs.
Yes, sir.
Oh, the negrito's gonna go down right now, bro.
So this one, beans and chorizo, hatch green chili.
Hatch?
Yes, sir.
Hatch is in Las Cruces?
It's in the house.
Oh, it's in the house. Good.
Yes, sir.
Come on, bro. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. And then your Sonora, which is our staple. Fresh beans.
Fresh beans.
Grilled onions, fresh onions, tomatoes, mustard, mayo, and our green salsa. And they all come accompanied with either a grilled jalapeno or a grilled yellow pepper.
Ooh, man. Okay, how we gonna do this, bro?
I'll cut while you eat.
Okay, copy that. Let's go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, check this out right here for me right now. The negrito's gonna get down right now. Let's see how this. Oh, look at that. Look at that cheese. Look at that. The cilantro is falling everywhere, bro.
You got to try this one. You got to try the vaquero.
Yes, okay. I'm going to try them both, man.
No, I'll let you cut that one.
Yeah, okay. Copy that. I'll cut that. Let me cut that. Like I'm at work. I'm at work. I copy that. Oh, look at that. Ooh.
I don't think anybody's interested in what you're saying right now.
Oh, they
need to be trying it.
Look at that. Oh, my God. Would you look at that? Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at that. Heavenly glory. Sonora, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. That is delicious.
I tell you.
My mama told me not to talk with my mouth full. But this looks good. The steak.
Like I said, our meat marinated 24 hours. We cook it to order. It's not sitting in a steam table. The fries are not sitting under a heat lamp.
Right.
You know? That's where you can taste the difference.
Right. I want to get a piece of this one too.
Yeah, try that one.
I don't want you to get all of it, bro.
No. We're sharing today.
We're sharing today? Sharing is caring.
And when you get the fries, you automatically get our salsa that we make in-house, and then you get that citrus sour cream. I don't know if you've tried that one.
No, I haven't. I've only tried one dog that you had, and it was the one, the top one. What was it called again?
Sonora.
Yeah.
It's the one.
Look at that. Wow.
One warning.
What's
the
that?
Salsa's hot.
The salsa's hot?
Yes, it is.
It. Oh.
Great.
That's good, my brother.
That's what we pride ourselves. Fresh food.
That is so delicious. I mean,
fresh ingredients. Yes. I was mad when I made it this morning, so be a little careful.
Okay.
It's a little spicy.
And you got the jalapenos, like I said better. I like the green.
You always have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Some
Exactly.
days they're hot, and sometimes they're not.
Right, and everything comes from Hatch?
Our green chili does. Yes. But all the rest of the products are bought locally. I go to
Right.
either the local grocery store or local meat market. Like I said, the breads are from a local bakery. So you can't go wrong. You
Right.
know? There's
Those home cooked fries, man, those are home cooked fries right there.
yes.
Okay, so do you use a grease? What do you use for your grease?
So we just use a canola oil.
Okay.
And that's what we fry it in. And like I said, the difference is the seasoning and the freshness. You know.
Okay.
A lot of people don't understand. Seasoning is very important.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Woo.
You know.
Okay, so what about your vegan? What do you have for vegans? Because I do know a lot of vegans.
So the beauty about our menu is that it's 100% customizable. We do have a vegan dog.
Right.
Does not have a hot dog in it. Protein is our beans.
Wow.
And then we grill mushrooms, grilled poblanos, red bell peppers, onions.
Wow.
And then we make a Southwest barbecue sauce.
Oh.
Yes, you gotta try that.
I gotta try that one.
You can do it with the hot dog. I say 100% customizable. So someone says, I want the vegan, but I still want a dog in it. You got it. I have people that have made a taco on a dog.
Hi, my name's...
I want carne asada, onion, cilantro on a dog. You got it. You know?
Everything, huh?
So we could do the same thing with your fries. You're vegan, guess what? Get rid of that meat. We do all the fresh vegetables that we have grilled up, nice and fresh for you.
Man, you guys are just knuckle up, man.
You know?
That's some good stuff, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you're thinking, but our time is almost out.
Excuse me.
But before we go, I want to know this. I had a question I wanted to ask you. What would you change or enhance at a mobile cuisine
Showing up.
place? You know,
Showing
like
up.
what you have.
I'll go
what would you
first,
change
Sean.
about it? What would you enhance?
About other places?
Yeah.
I would definitely have to start with the customer service.
Okay. Okay.
I would think that
yes.
if I could, I would, you know, even if I'm willing to offer my services and help
Right.
someone if they're willing to take a little advice from this, you know, OG.
Right.
In the restaurant business, you know, I'm willing to.
So do you have a page just set up, like on your Facebook page? Do you have Instagram and stuff like that?
Yes, we have Facebook for the Lalos, Instagram, and we just started some TikTok, you know, because we're trying to get into this, you know, the fad of, you know, hey, everybody's getting TikTok famous.
Right.
Why not Lalos?
Why not Lalos?
You know, that's
Bro,
our
you got a
goal.
place. Do you need a Neglito around there, bro? You need
I need
some
a taste
brown
tester.
sugar? You need a taste tester? Bro,
Yes, sir.
The brown sugar's coming, bro. That's awesome. Okay. So, all right. Now, do you have photographers that are on call that can come out wherever you are? Let's say you want to set up in a public somewhere, at a park somewhere. Do you have people like that, or do you need something like that? You need to let the people know that.
At this time, we do not have anybody. I mean, we do
Is that
most-
something that you might be ready for?
We might be, you know.
Okay.
We do our own social media right now.
Okay,
But
smart.
We do our own pictures.
Right.
Obviously, where that's not our profession.
Of
You know?
course.
So I'm sure that if someone has a little more
Right.
ideas than what we do, you know, might have a better angle. So yeah, we're willing to talk to people. The community is definitely something that we're involved in. We want to be a part of it. We've been a part of it from feeding fire stations. We did a hot dog eating contest
Oh, yeah.
for the
okay.
animal shelter.
Okay.
You know, we do gift card giveaways. We buy gift cards from other fast food trucks.
So how did the dogs feel about you having hot dogs at their place?
I'm gonna tell you right now, my dogs love it.
Okay.
Because you know, at the end of the night, we don't serve that to anybody else. Guess who gets the dogs? So they love it. They might not like all the people there, but
Right.
you know, they definitely love the treats at the end of the night. You know?
Okay. So is there any people real quick that you want to do a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk to him.
So, I want to give a big shout out to obviously my parents,
yes,
my brother, that has been 100% supportive through this whole thing. He's been my backbone,
Right.
Obviously, AJ, Frankie, Geronimo, and Patty, which are all my employees, all the people that make Lalo's happen.
Right.
I can't do it by myself.
Of course.
And lastly, before you, Las Cruces Channel for having us here.
We're honored.
And of course, we can't forget the community.
Yes.
Las Cruces. We would not be here. We would not be a year in service if it wasn't for you.
You hear that, Las Cruces? Lalo's style burgers or dogs. Are you? Since I mentioned burgers, do you have burgers?
We've done burgers on our specials. We do weekly specials, so you just keep watching us on Facebook and you can see.
All right, man. All right. Hey, we want to thank Louis so much for coming on down to the Las Cruces studios and hanging out with, serving it up with Joe Nathan on the Las Cruces
Thank
studios.
you for having me.
Man, thank you for all the delicious food. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go to Lalo Sonoro, Style Dogs. And it's on, what is it?
110 North
Tell
Solano.
us where that is.
So we're at 110 North Solano. We're pretty much close to Solano and Griggs. That would be the closest intersection.
Okay, closest intersection. If you know Las Cruces, like I think you know Las Cruces, you've been there for quite some time, and you're tired of someone handing you a dog, and they're asking you ketchup or mustard. I want you to go on down to Lalo Sonoro Style Dogs.
Come see us.
All right, and Mr. Lewis is going to take care of you. And everyone that I met, the hospitality was the food is the establishment, all right, the cuisine, all right, the mobile cuisine, not a hot dog stand. This is not a hot dog stand, ladies and gentlemen. This is a cuisine way of serving our community. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing before we finish. Anybody that mentions that they saw us here with you, they're going to get 10% off.
What? Did you hear that, Las Cruces?
10% off.
10%. Listen, I want to call them in too, because I don't think this is in Deming. Is this in Deming?
No.
It's not in Deming. What about Lawrenceburg?
We're just in Las Cruces.
What about Albuquerque?
No, sir.
No Santa Fe?
No, sir.
What? You need to get on down to Las Cruces and check out Lalo's Sonoro Style Dogs with Mr. Lewis. Hey, check him out. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I could stay and allow you to see me eat the rest of this food, but me and Lewis gotta go. And our delicious guests, they're glad to be with us. So hey, thank you so much for joining us. That's our time. Hey, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time with Mr. Lewis. Thank you so much for coming on down with us. We enjoyed you so much. All right, check out the logos. And when are you going to have another hot dog eating contest?
We're trying to do another one for Parkinson's research.
Oh, did you hear that?
We'll keep updated.
Wow, we'll keep updated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it live right here down at the Las Cruces studios. I'm your host, Joe Nathan. I'm serving it up with Joe Nathan at the Las Cruces, the fabulous Las Cruces studios. Ladies and gentlemen, blessings, peace, and favor be with you and your house.
Attention CPAP users with sleep apnea. You may have heard about the importance of cleaning your CPAP mask and supplies regularly, but we can't stress enough the importance of replacing your old CPAP supplies every 90 days to prevent infections and improve your overall health. With Medicare and private insurance, you may qualify to receive regular replacement supplies with free home delivery at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Improve your sleep and take control of your health with new Medicare-covered CPAP supplies every 3 months.
When the school board mismanages its financial fiduciary
all the Mesilla Valley, reaching all of New Mexico. Broadcasting live from the Las Cruces studios, bringing you the issues that matter and the topics that count. Telling it like it is. It's the Mike Tejas Show. And now here's your host, Mike Tejas.
Thank you for joining us today with the Mike Tejas Show. My name is Mike Tejas. We're going to start off with a new report card that came out, and it's the fiscal responsibility for the state of New Mexico. In 2016, Governor Martinez, we scored a B, which was a full grade point up from what we were. We were usually at a C minus, and she brought it up to a B. Well, you know what? That wasn't good enough. In 2018, she brought it up to an A plus. New Mexico was the #1 most fiscally responsible state in the country, according to the Cato Institute, which does these report cards. We were #1. Today it's said to read that we've fallen to 36th, a D in our fiscal responsibility. Now we need to think, did the coronavirus, how much of that affected our grade? We can think of that, but you know what? All the states in the United States were affected by the same virus. 36th place from #1. That is a long drop. And I can't help from wonder what type of spending, it had to have been out of control. There was a large surplus, one of the largest surpluses, when the Governor Martinez left, and we have spent it, and it has dwindled down and brought us all the way down to a D. That's a sad state of affairs, and that means that what that means is to bring us up, the tax burden on every citizen in New Mexico would roughly be $17,000 to bring our budget back to where it needs to be. That's not good news for our state. And, right now we see the governor coming under fire from a bipartisan group about her spending on the emergency COVID money, and I don't know. We need to pay attention to what's going on in Santa Fe. My goodness, we're a year away from an election, but my goodness, we need candidates who are willing to run, who are fiscally responsible. You know what? I hate even mentioning this qualification, but honest, fiscally responsible candidates who are willing to go up there and make the hard decisions. Our whole state we're in trouble. And so we need people to start coming forward. We need help in this state right here. To go to a D, I would hate to think we're going to wait till we go to an F. Well, one way to bring this up is to raise taxes. Now, raising taxes is getting ready to happen. We see in the future taxes being raised. Well, you know that Governor Martinez, one of the things she did was she did not raise taxes. She was totally against raising taxes. She vetoed any bill that she considered frivolous spending in the state. I tell you, no matter if you like her, you don't like her, she did a great job, and she had New Mexico #1 something for the first time. Well, it's nice to know that we have been first once. So, those are things we need to think about. We need to think about the state of our government, the state of our city. We have talked about homelessness and talked about it. KVIA News and the mayor of Las Cruces, he actually got up, he went out early in the morning, about 6:30, and he started driving around the city to see what's going on with this homeless problem. Finally, somebody gets out there and takes a look at the problem. And I applaud the mayor for doing that. I mean, he got out there and actually physically walked up and started checking on the homeless population and the homeless problem. I would sure like to see the city council members, they should be doing that in their districts. The worst district of them all.
Major
The El
movements.
Paseo area, Idaho area. That is
How are you
the
gonna
worst
help?
district of them all.
You can hear
Well,
me.
that city councilor, he's not really interested in taking a look at what's going on in his district anymore because, for one, he's not running again. So, that's not his problem anymore. So he decided, I can't fix my little district right here in Las Cruces, not that big, so I'm going to run for Congress and try to fix this whole part of the state district. So, I don't understand his thinking. I would
That's all
like
we
to
need to
think
hear.
that if he was really interested in taking a step up, he should have done something about his district. It looks terrible out there. I can't believe, I don't know if he's ever walked the streets of his district to take a look at what's going on. Shame on you. You need to take care of your district before you start getting these aspirations of going out and conquering a bigger district. Right now, though, we do have the local races coming up. Exciting. We have some council districts coming up. They look like they're starting to get a little bit heated up right now. Henry Young, it's the latest person I've talked to about that he's running. And, there's several others. But the part that has really grabbed my attention is the school board elections. Never have I been so intent on paying attention to the school board elections. Mr. Macha, I'll tell you what, that man is hard to beat. I've talked to him. He's engineer by trade. He's a tech-savvy guy.
At the city council level.
He has got the ideas, the dreams, aspirations, what he wants to do in the school board is, it is a breath of fresh air. Mr. Macha told me, he says, Mike, I think we need to pay attention to the school board. While it is one of the most ignored elections, the most ignored seats there are, it is the only seat that contains 100% of our future. 100% of our future is in those schools right now. 100%. 100%. That is one of the positions we should pay the most attention to. President of the United States, yeah, that's important. Governor, yeah, that's important. All the city, all the local representatives and senators and council members, that's important. But if they pale in comparison to who is controlling 100% of what happens next, our future. That's our future. We look around and we take a look at how society's going, and right now it is very divided. It's, the virus really, really hurt our country, but you got to ask yourself, are you satisfied with what you see in our education systems coming out? I'm telling you, it's scary. It's scary what they're teaching kids. The indoctrination, it's scary. I am fearful to see what's going to happen with this generation coming out. The generation coming out is called the Alpha generation. The generation after that would be the Z generation, the millennials. Then we got the X and the boomers and the silent generation. Those are the generations. But right now we have the Alpha. They're in school right now. Now, how many of us can honestly say we know anything about the school board? How many of us can honestly say we've ever gone to a school board meeting? We have paid no attention to what's being taught to our kids. Zero, nothing. We've given them a free run. I'm seeing school board meetings where they just cut your mic off. You have a minute to speak and that's it. I'm going to tell you, we have allowed a board of people to take control of our children, to take control of what they're learning. Everything that's before them, we have forfeited our right to our kids' education by not paying more attention to these school board elections. I'll tell you, I'm reading right now where in California, they've just passed the governor just signed a bill stating that a child can get an abortion or sex change work without the notification of their parents. Now, when I say child, I'm saying minors. Kids who cannot even be administered an aspirin in school can now make a life-changing decision of getting an abortion without notifying their parents. They can get sex change treatment without notifying their parents. That is the new law in California. That is the direction we're heading as a state if we don't start paying attention to the voting. It's as simple as that. You know, if we saw 75% of the people voting, if we saw 60% of people voting, we would understand that is the will of the people. That's the wish of the people. But such a minute amount of people vote, that is not the will of the people. That is the will of a minority of a small amount of the people. The majority of the people, we're not paying attention. We're not getting out and voting. We're not talking to candidates. We need to talk to every single candidate running for office in our district. We can't here just go by the fluff we see in the mailbox or the fluff we hear on the radio or television. We need to ask serious questions. What do you stand for? Where do you stand on some of these issues? Where do you stand on crime in Las Cruces? Our murder rate has gone way up. We've passed last year already. Our drugs have completely come in and wiped out a large amount of our young people. They're called blues. I did a series on blues. An unbelievably, I mean, this drug right here will grab you and take you in. It's so addicting, it's not even funny. It's a blue pill with an M on it. And you know, the real blues, you know, that are prescribed, those are Xanax. Those are depressants, antidepressants. And those are boxed in with an M. The blues out of Mexico just have the M without the box around it. If you see one of those pills, look in your kids' rooms, go look in their drawers, check. You need to check them out. Look through their cars, look through their rooms. You know what? And you need to do it now. You need to do it while they're young. If you see any sign that would make you want to think that your child is headed that direction, it's time to have a talk with them. And I don't mean threatening and yelling and screaming. You need to have a talk with your children, and you need to have a talk sitting down to where they can speak. We need to listen to what they're saying, and we need to speak to them through love. We can't speak to them in a threatening, hostile way. I was so guilty of that. As my kids were growing up, I was very guilty. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need to reach your kids while they're young. You need to let them know that you are willing to listen to anything they have to say. You need to say, you know what, if you ever have a problem, you can call me. My cousin, who was a retired general in the Air Force, he told me that one day he came in, he told me, yeah, I was up at 1:30 this morning. I went and picked up my daughter and gave her a ride home. She was out and she drank a little bit, and she called me because we have a rule in our home. We don't care if you drink 1, 2, whatever it is. Don't drive. Call us. No questions asked. No getting upset. We will go and pick you up, and we won't say anything, but we'll go pick you up. And you know what? I said, man, that is one of the most awesome rules I've heard in a house. That's a rule we need to have. We need to have somebody you can call. Our kids can call and pick them up. No questions asked, no lectures, no frowns, no getting on them. You need to gladly say, I'll be right there. Thank you for calling me to pick you up and not driving. And go pick them up. I'm going to tell you something. You could save yourself a world of heartbreak. And you know what? A lot of times, They may just need a ride home, not because they're drunk, but they need a ride home. Be that phone number that they call. Be that person they can call and answer your phone. While your kids are out, you put your phone next to you where when it rings, you can pick it up. Yes, I'll be glad to go pick you up. I'll be right there. And go pick them up. You know, I'm stressing that right now because this morning I presided over a funeral. Young man, 18 years old. He needed a ride home. He needed a ride home one night, and he started calling and calling and calling to try to find somebody to give him a ride home. This was that incident that happened 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it happened on Donana Road, up a little bit closer to Donana. He needed a ride home, so he started calling people. Well, he ended up finally getting a hold of a friend who agreed to come pick him up and give them a ride home. There was a couple of them. So he went over there and picked them up in his pickup. Well, this guy was drunk. And, you know, we need to teach our kids not to ever get into the car of someone who is intoxicated. Thank them and say no thank you. And don't let them drive. Take their keys away, and then all three of you has to call for another ride home. Well, they got in. And this guy started driving crazy. Well, he lost control of his vehicle, ejected the young man out of the back. He dead on the scene. I presided over his funeral. I'll tell you, it's so heartbreaking to see a young person in a casket with the most grief-stricken family. The family was so grief-stricken. Oh, they were grief-stricken. They were crying and crying. And I'll tell you what, we all know what that cry sounds like, and it is really the one that just pierces you. I heard him crying, and there his young body laid to rest in there. And I said, my goodness, how sad. I wish that young man would have had somebody that he could have called that was a little more responsible. I wish he would have called someone more responsible. That's why I urge you, if your kids don't know they can call you in an emergency and you will gladly respond without getting mad at them, without lecturing them, without grounding them, without getting on them the next day, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When they call you for a ride, they already know they did something that wasn't right, whether it's stay out too late or maybe drink, whatever it is. They know they did something wrong. It's your responsibility to make sure they know they can call you to go pick them up. What a senseless tragedy. It's senseless. You see these kids get killed, I mean, it is sad. Be that number they can call. Be that person they will look to. So that's all right, I'll call my dad, he'll give us a ride. That's all right, I'll call my mom, she'll give us a ride. That's all right, I'll call my sister, she'll give us a ride. I'll call my brother, I'll call my aunt, I'll call my uncle, my grandparents. Give them a number of someone they can call in case they need a ride home, so that you don't have that horrifying early morning phone call to go identify one of your loved ones. That is a heartbreaking experience. I saw the family. It was devastating. It's a hard service to preside over, and I've presided over several. That, I believe, a young person is the toughest. We see that going on with that message right there. We will go into what I think right now. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on in our city and what you can make your kids aware of on the Mike Tejas Show. My name is Mike Tejas.
Did you know that student loans and credit card debt stifle our students' post-secondary and post-collegiate pursuits? Hello, I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, candidate for School Board District 3. Our students will greatly benefit when they are empowered with financial literacy. This will give them the ability and confidence to manage and navigate financial choices they will face, including that of student loans, credit cards, and debt management. With your help, I will implement a financial literacy program that will prepare our students to overcome any financial challenges they may face. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.
Paid for by Macho Courthouse, yes.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Welcome back to the Mike Tejas Show. My name is Mike Tejas. We're talking about what's going on in our city right now, the health of our state. An article published in the New York Times said that there was 93,000 Americans dying of overdose deaths. And that is the New York Times, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. 93,000 Americans dying of overdose as the drug overdose increases. That has become an absolute 1.5 million fentanyl pills were seized by Border Patrol. Fentanyl-laced pills, whether they be Xannies, which are the blues,
Funny you should
different
ask that.
oxycodone, the painkillers, they're laced with fentanyl. It's amazing. You need to talk to your family, talk to your kids, talk to them about these drugs. You know, sometimes they'll say, oh, I already know that. They say, well, you know what? I just want you to know how many people are dying every year. 93,000 people died in a year. That's a lot of people dying right now. We need to let them know that they're lacing different types of pills every day. Adderall, that's the latest one. They're starting to lace Adderall. That's a common pill also. They're lacing them. So we need to pay attention to what's going on with that. You know, for us to have a healthy state, it's unfair to put it all on the governor's office and the legislatures and on Santa Fe or on Washington. For us to have a healthy state, we need to start by having a healthy city. And by having a healthy city, we cannot put it all on our representatives, our council and mayor to have a healthy city. We need to break it down into our districts and neighborhoods. We need to do our part. We need to talk to people running. We need to talk to our council members and ask them, what are you doing about this? What are we doing about this drug epidemic? Now, mind me, there are some districts in town that do not experience this. There's several districts that do not experience that harshness of what District 1, downtown area. Oh, I tell you what, some of those districts there, unbelievable. District 2, some of the issues that are hit that part. Now, those problems will eventually bleed into your all's districts. It's important that you all pay attention to what your representatives in your small district, talk to your council people. There's an election right now. I mentioned that a little earlier. We have candidates running. Talk to them. Ask them hard questions. You don't have to write down the questions you're going to ask them. You know what you need to think about? Ask what you see going on. Ask what is affecting your world. I'll tell you what. There is hardly a person that you can talk to that drugs have not affected their family and devastated, taken out a loved one, hooked a loved one. You know, somebody is parents to all these people we see homeless on the streets. And I'll tell you, a whole lot of them I've talked to, those drugs have grabbed them and will not let them go. They get so immune to those drugs that they quit smoking them and they start injecting them. And I'm going to tell you, I've talked to several users, and I've talked to people that are trying to quit, people that have quit. I talked to one gentleman, he said, yeah, the blues have destroyed my girlfriend. They've destroyed me, but not to the extent it destroyed her. She has to get kidney dialysis because she has taken so many of those that it has messed up her kidneys. You know, I see it. I see it in family members, how drugs are completely ravaging the home. They turn the most honest, sweet kids into thieves. And who do they steal from? They start with stealing from you. You know, we need to understand that if your kids are out there and you need to cry out for help, you need to call them in, do whatever you can, get them into counseling. We are right now working as hard as we can to get a facility that deals with substance abuse and mental health issues. We're working on that. We are giving it everything we got to try to get a facility in that you could actually take your child to, that would have beds and be a longer term place for substance abuse, mental health needs, some place that doesn't cost you your home, some place that they will take you in and not charge you. We're looking at ways to get the funding from federal money, from whatever money is out there that they're given for that. We're looking for it right now. We're looking to get that. We're fighting that problem as hard as we can. It is a tough one, but we're not going to quit fighting it. We're going to stay on that front line because at the end of the day, my name is Mike Tejas, and I believe our children are 100% of our future. We need to take care of now and the world they live in. Thank you for joining me today with the Mike Tejas Show. My name is Mike Tejas.
Siphoned off.
A school board member is accountable to the community. They're transparent to the community and has the community's trust in the regulations and policies set by the board. This only happens when the school board truly reflects the best interest, values, and is the voice of the parents in the community. Join me in restoring accountability and transparency. I'm Eloy Francisco Macha, School Board District 3.